Check 1, 2. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Yo, welcome into the stream. Eddie's in the building. What's up, Eddie? C-Rock. C-Rock is in the building. What's up, C-Rock? Thank you so much for tapping in. I appreciate you being here. G-Core is in the building. Y'all, welcome to the stream. Is it Crave? I appreciate you tapping in. Knep, welcome in. Pearls, thank you for tapping in the stream today. How y'all feeling today? If y'all are coming in for the first time as well, I appreciate y'all tapping in. Thank you for joining Track Talk. Thank you for joining the stream. I would love to know where y'all are joining from. We just hopped on 10 seconds ago, so we're going to chat for a moment. I would love to know where y'all are from, where you're joining from. David, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Let me know where you're joining from, as well as if you make music, let me know what kind of music you make. Jay, is it Prophecy? Jay Prophecy, thank you for the follow as well. I appreciate that a lot. Aruba's in the building. Pearls, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you tapping in today. Beautiful Eagles in here. Y'all tap the screen as well if y'all are coming in over on TikTok as well. Is it Keems? Am I saying that correctly? Thank you for joining the stream. I'll update everyone on how to submit their music for a consultation today in just a little bit. Derek, thanks for tapping in, bro. I appreciate you being here. But if you're over on TikTok, make sure y'all are tapping the screen, share out the live with a few people. Don't forget to send your heart me for the day. It does really help out the live stream. Mason Oaks in the building. Legend, is good to see you, man. I hope you're doing fantastic. Dysfunction, welcome in. Eagle, appreciate you being here. Thank y'all for joining the live stream. Let me know where y'all are joining from. If you make music, what kind of music that do you make? David makes music from Italy. Take me to Italy, David. I need to get out of this. I need to get out of this place. We're doing pretty good, Derek. Doing pretty good, man. I've been spending today. I've been working on projects here in the studio as well as redoing the studio. So I've been updating a whole bunch of stuff here. In fact, I'll probably update more after the live. But I've been busy in here trying to get things rerouted. Lots of different cables. I've got to update a different console over here. I have to update routing to two of my other snakes that I have here in the studio. One for the synths and one for the drums. Cleaning up that. Got guitars mounted, got rid of some stands, so it's a little like chaotic in here. It's been a minute, Mason. I appreciate you tapping in, but yeah, we're doing pretty good. It's a little like messy, but it's actually getting a lot better. It's actually getting a lot better. A live worship drummer found me this past week and wants to do drums for me for free. Derek, hop on it. That's amazing, man. That's amazing. I think there is Apple Pay. I'm pretty sure. Pearls, go to my profile, click on the link, and then read through and follow all the details there. I think there is Apple Pay. I'm not positive. I know there's a bunch of other different ways. There's a bunch of other different ways that you can send in if you're talking about the consultation side of things that we do here. But double check that link if you haven't already. We do have a lot of different forms, but I'm not positive. I have to remind myself of what's there. Lost in Oblivion, thanks for tapping in. Arden, he's done 2 tracks already, dude. Let's go. I appreciate y'all happening in. Child, thank you for tapping in. Is it melodic? No, I can't read from this far. My screen's too far away. I'm too zoomed in and my screen's too far away. Thank you for the follow. I think it's like melodic something. Externus, we have a new song. Let's go, Fluffy. Welcome in. I appreciate you tapping in. Brent is in the building. I'll update everybody. Alec, what's going on, Alec? Appreciate you tapping in. We'll get moving with some music here in just like 2 minutes. Let me update a few things. Let me update just a few things here before we get things rolling. Your streaming time is the middle of the night. That's crazy. That's true, Mason. That's true. Because you're in Australia, right, Mason? Am I remembering that correctly? Are you in Australia, or maybe you moved somewhere else? Am I making that up in my mind? Braxton is back in the building. What's up, Braxton? I make electronic music, but I really love experimenting. I love that, man. I love that. That's amazing. Okay, give me 2 seconds. Let me update a few things here, and then we are going to get moving with some music. I'm not going to be on for very long today. I thought I was going to be on Sweden. Take me there, please, man. We're desperate to get out of here. Okay, let me update just a few things here and get this updated. Let me see. Okay, let me know who Mateo is. Let me know who Mateo is right here in the chat. I want to make sure that I get, Jesus, I can't talk. I want to make sure that I get everything flowing in the right direction. I need to update line over here. Let's get that flowing. I'm going to be on for a handful of tracks, y'all, like maybe 4 or 5, nothing too crazy. What's your schedule this week? I've got something new, but can't send tonight. I'll be on tomorrow. A pretty typical schedule. Schedule. I'll be on tomorrow. I will most likely be on Friday, as far as I know. Centrix, thank you for the follow. I'll be on tomorrow. I'll be on. I don't know how long. I don't know how long. Just my lives. I've been really slammed with projects this week, and sessions this week, so I haven't been live for very long. The lives have been like 2 hours. Ooh, let's go, Derek. I love to hear it. More than welcome. I'll treat you all to pasta, dude. It's a deal. It's a deal. It's a deal. All right, let me double check some things. Carrie's in the building. What's up, Carrie? Thanks for tapping in. If y'all are over on TikTok, Disciple, thank you for the follow. Make sure y'all are tapping the screens, share out the live with a few people. We are going to get rolling with some music here in just a second. I'm looking for Mateo in the chat. Mateo, let me know where you're at. No, absolutely. All genres, all languages, all styles, all levels of preparedness. Vasco, thank you for the follow. Okay, Vasco, is that Mateo? Is that you? Ba-da-da-ba. Yeah. Okay, sorry about that, y'all. It's a little chaotic. That's you. Okay, so I just got notified of another one. Got you. Okay, I got you. I had just gotten that 5, and I just got the update. Eric's in the building. What's up, Eric? Okay, let me get you up on the board. Let me get you moving. Let me get everything flowing here. And Kenshin's in the building. Y'all keep tapping the screen. I will explain the entire live stream in like 30 seconds. I'm going to get Mateo up on the board. I'm going to put you up as Vasco. I'm assuming that's your artist name, but let me know if that's incorrect, and I can put on whatever you want. But I'm assuming that's your artist name or something like that. Okay, I'll explain submission. I'll explain the whole live stream here in just 20 seconds. Let me just get Vasco up on the board, ready to go. Beautiful. You're right where you need to be. Fabulous. Fantastic. Louis, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Okay, it's time. Okay, let's get started with some music, y'all. Let's get into the flow here. For all of y'all that have come in already, I appreciate y'all tapping into the stream so much. If you are here for the first time, welcome to Track Talk. Welcome to the family. Welcome to this amazing community of musicians and artists and producers and vocalists and songwriters and engineers. It's an amazing space. Louis, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. What we do here at Track Talk are 20 to 30 minute multiple listen, deep dive consultations on the structure of your music. These are long, like I said, 20 to 30. Louis, thank you for the heart meet. 20 to 30 minutes long per track that we listen to. We will typically listen to your song or your instrumental if you're a producer. Usually 2 or 3 different times to really chop through the structure of your music. We are going to dive into your mix and master, your production elements, sound design choices, lyric and song formatting and structure, in order to get into the details and the nuances of your creativity, what you're doing creatively and what you're doing practically in your music. This is not a review. This is not a trash or pass. There are no ratings. There are no polls. This is strictly about getting into the details and the nuances of your music. For those of you who don't know, my name is Torvik. I am a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That is what I do for a living. I've done that for the last 14 plus years. What's up, Jenna? I've done that for the last 14 plus years. I'm also a classically trained pianist. So the structure of this live stream and the way that we approach it is from that perspective. I am not here to roast you. I'm not here to trash you. I'm not here to tear you down. I'm also not here to hype you up. I'm not here to get you exposure. If that happens, if the algorithm works beautifully and you get a bunch of exposure and new fans, fabulous. It's just not my priority. It's not the way I've structured the stream in order to optimize for that. We're here to optimize for value and to optimize for offering specific, practical, and actionable feedback on the structure of your music. If that sounds interesting to you, go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow all the details, and we will get you up on the board, ready to go. We've already got some people up on the board over on the Red app. If you would like to check the line, and I recommend that you do, is it Diabetes? Thank you for the follow. If you do want to check the line, go to the Red app. You can just check everything over there. Red app is YT, the other platform. Samo's in the building. What's up, Samo? Okay, let me see. Let me check a few things here really quick. No, because I'm not, is it Mudge, I think? Because it's not a review in that format. These are super long form. I'm not even listening for best or worst. There's no ratings. There's no polls. There's no what the community likes best. There's no like ranking or ratings of like what is like the best versus the worst. So there is no like collaborative playlist or something like that in particular for right now. Just I had done that in the past. And it just I personally am not going to be the one that curates something like that. There's a lot of people that do. There's a lot of spaces that do curate stuff like that really well. But I just don't. That's just not something that I'm prioritizing. I really like when we do these consultations. It's really pointed. It's really in line with just exactly what we do within the structure of this live. I try not to do too many things that are peripheral to it. This is a very like secondary peripheral side to just my music business that I have that I do full time every day. And so I try not to if I start running too many communities. I mean, we have a Discord. Join the Discord. I am brutally, uninvolved with it right now. We've tried to build more of that, and we should. And I wish I had the time and the mental capacity to do more of it. Build playlists for the community. Be invested in the Discord. Run the Patreon. Like do all this stuff. I currently, in this current stage of my life, I have like no energy for that. I would love to do more. One of the only legit guys on this app, y'all tap. Samo, man, that's love, man. That's a whole lot of love, especially coming from you, man. You're immensely talented. Mason, same to you, man. I just saw your comment above. Hold on right here. Man's ears are gold. Man, I appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all for the love and the support, especially coming from such talented individuals as such as yourselves. I really appreciate it. You take care as well, Mason. I appreciate you. Appreciate you dropping by for a moment. Q, thank you for the follow. Jenna, it's good to see you in here. Val, thank you for tapping in. Fluffy, I appreciate you being here. Okay, if y'all want to submit, once again, if we're about to get into Vasco's music here, if you want to submit, go to my profile. Jenna, that means a lot. Thank you so much. If you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, just read through and follow all of the details there. We'll get you up on the board. If you want to see the line, the order, the minimums as we go throughout the live stream, just go to the red app, YT. You can check out the line over there. Dylan's in the building. Ken's in the building. Let's go. Jay Dents, welcome in. Let's get the music rolling. Let's get it rolling. Bro, the camera quality is T. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate it a lot. B-Mac, welcome in. Sam, thank you for the shares. I appreciate that more than you know, man. That means a lot. Jenna, yeah, I responded to it, Jenna. Might have cut out for a bit, but yeah, I appreciate you so much. I really mean it. Fluffy, if you want to submit your music, go to my profile, click on the link, and read through and follow all the details. We'll get you up there. We got some people in line already. Let's get this rolling. Let's see. Vasco. Is it the Bandcamp? Is that you? Is that you? Is that you? Dylan, thank you for the roses, the 27 roses. Thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot. I appreciate that a lot. Aries the First, welcome in. Is the DJ lookalike, Gypsy Dreams? Is that you? Just got to make sure. Just got to make sure, got to make sure. It is. Vasco, where you at? Where you at? RNO. Welcome in. I hope you're doing amazing. Welcome in. Is a DJ lookalike? Is that you? It might be blocking your comments for some reason. I hope it's not. Is that you, DJ lookalike? Because I have like, I think 3 or 4 different names on here. Or maybe it went to spam. That's the only fresh email that I have in here. Let me check spam really quick. AJ's in the building. Welcome in, AJ. Thank you for tapping in. If y'all are over on TikTok, make sure y'all are tapping the screen, share out the live. Thank you, Jenna. I appreciate it. I see you. I see you in spam. I see you in spam. This is not spam. Report as not spam. Let's get it over here. 1 second. So that is in the right order. Let me refresh. We'll be back to it. If y'all do want to submit for a consultation, these are long form, 20 to 30 minute detailed consultations. If you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then read through and follow all the details there. All right, this is Vasco Falling Sky. This is out on Spotify. This is my new track. Would love to know what you think about it. Let's dive in. Vasco, I believe it is my first time hearing your music. So I would love some context. Give me some details. Talk to me about your role that you play in your music. Talk to me about production structure, who's mixing this, if there's any vocals, who those are. Talk to me about your process here a little bit. Let's dive in. This is Falling Sky by Vasco. Let's dive in, man. Tegan, welcome in. What's up, Grim? I do not. Absolutely. All genres, all levels of preparedness, all quality. Thank you for the follow, Tegan. I appreciate it. Go to my profile, click on the link, and just read through and follow all the details there. Of course. What's up, Rez? I like the bit crushing too. Some of that like low fidelity, down-sampled texture. How long you been producing, Vasco? This is your first single, right? What are you producing on? Let's go. How come this is the first one you've released? Smooth, man, smooth. What's up, Fora? Welcome in. Olivia, welcome in. Mike, how you feeling? Where'd you get the vocals? Let's go, man. No pressure at all, Tegan. No worry, no worry. I can talk about that after here a little bit. Have you released like productions anywhere else? SoundCloud, YouTube Beats, anything? BeatStars selling? Yo, show some love. Show some love. Show some love. Man, let's get into it. Vasco, this is Falling Sky by Vasco. Okay, so you've been producing for 12 years, and you've never sold production. You've never posted production anywhere. No SoundCloud, no YouTube, nothing like that. That's wild. That's wild. That's wild. Let's get into it. Let's dive into a couple things here. I want to dig into a couple details here. Say by the Cross, welcome in. Dimensional, appreciate you tapping in as well. Tegan said, I've been writing classical music for 5. Let's go. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's amazing. Yeah, Tegan, this is a paid service. I wanted to mention that briefly. I know there's a lot of like live review spaces. This is a paid service. I do offline consultations all the time for artists, producers, studios, stuff like that. But so this is just a live stream version of that. We do a little bit shorter form than like an hour or 2 hours. I spent 4 hours with an artist the other day. So we do a kind of a shortened, condensed version of that where we spend 20 to 30 minutes breaking down songs, digging into structure, sound design choices, lyric and song formatting, mix and master production elements, stuff like that. So it is a paid service. It's not like a free review or something like that. It is a long form 30-minute breakdown that we do typically for each artist that gets up there. So that is why it is a paid service. But we have an amazingly generous community here. So every once in a while, you'll get someone that comes in and they just drop some money to support the community and give people a chance to get up on the board. So I would just encourage you, whether or not there's literally never any rush or any pressure to ever submit or get yourself up there if you don't have the capacity capacity to. But I would encourage you to be a part of the community, tap in with people, make sure that you are, engaging and networking and collaborating with people, because that is just going to increase your likelihood of getting support from some of the other people in here that want to see you win and want to see you get the support that you need as an artist, as a composer, so on and so on. So, excuse me. Y'all just show some love. Show some love. Yeah, there's a ton of spaces to just give it a listen. Yeah, tons of space. That's just not what we do here. And what we do here is really, really strict. Really, what am I trying to say? Is really, really structured. With classical, you don't mix or master. Yes, you do. You definitely do. In fact, I know some of the most incredible mixing and mastering engineers that work on classical records. There's some really, really talented. You definitely still mix and master with classical. Even more specifically, yeah. I get what you mean. I was like, I know some of the most like hyper tuned in engineers. Classical music or like cinematic scoring and stuff like that is a wild west of engineering and phase. Like imagine like miking an orchestra with 50 people, or 100 people. It's crazy. If you want to submit your music, go to my profile, click on the link, just read through it and follow all the steps there. We'll get you up on the board, ready to go. The line you can find by going over to the Red app, YT. You can see the line, the order, the minimum over there. But let's keep going through the song. I wanted to double check some things really quick. And then we're going to get back into the song. We still got some time in here, so I want to get back into the song. Okay, following Vasco, what have you been doing with your music for the last 12 years then? Helltaker, I do not. I feel you. I'm letting this play through because I'm listening for something. I'm going to back it up. I'm listening for something. I'm going to back it up. I'm going to back it up. Colzix, welcome in. D Media, welcome in as well. Okay, you have a good amount. Colzix, thank you for the follow. If you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, just read through and follow the details there. The line is over on the red or purple apps. You can see everything over there. You have a lot now. There's something stylistically that I think you're doing here. You have a lot of like high-end saturation and some crushing and stuff that's going on there as well. There's also a lot of high-end aliasing here. Just an inability to process some of the brightest frequencies unless they're being like forced through with EQ. I'm gonna back it up here just a little bit. Just go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow all of the details there. And we'll get you up on the board. Thank you for the follow as well, Dean. I appreciate that a lot. If y'all want to see the line, that's over on the other platforms that we're live on. So the red app, YT, or the purple app, starts with the T. You can find the line, order, and minimum and stuff over there. Do you have, okay, I'm going to ask this, and I'm going to say something loosely here. Okay, Vasco, I'm going to say something loose, and I don't mean this with like any malintent at all. Okay, so I'm gonna say some things loosely that are just what I'm hearing. That's all it is. It's just a fact of what I'm hearing. It's some of the decisions that I'm hearing, some of the processing that I'm hearing, some of the things that are going on in the background. I don't mean any of this with like a negative edge to it at all. I'm just gonna let you know what I'm hearing and what my instinct is because of what I'm hearing and seeing, and how it's going to be perceived by other people if you don't make some shifts in what you're doing. Okay, let me see. JP, welcome in. Hart, welcome in as well. I appreciate you being here. I'm hearing a lot of high-end aliasing. I'm seeing like a non-active account until activity that's fresh with an AI photo, like generated artwork. Very, very, very recent releases. A lot of difficulty in high frequency processing, a lot of aliasing and fuzz at the high end between the vocal and your synths and drums whenever they come into the mix. My assumption because of that is that this is all generated, right? So when I see generated artwork and then I hear, and again, I don't mean any of this with a negative edge to it. I'm just letting you know what I hear and what other people are going to hear and what they're probably going to perceive as well. I see inactive accounts with very little movement on them. The very little movement on them has no video, of anything actually happening, right? No prior releases for someone who's been working for 12 years, generated artwork, and then, what sounds like generated production. And so if that is the case, I don't even care. So I'm not coming from a place where it's like, that I'm like mad if it is. I just like appreciate more clarity and transparency if it is the case. But all roads point to generated here as far as profiles, structure, sound design, aliasing, difficulty in high frequency processing, or by default exaggerated frequency curve to correct for that, generated artwork, very recent profiles and stuff like that. 0% AI. Do you have? Okay, so if that is the case, I'm letting you know that that's how it looks. That's how it looks, and that's how it sounds. If that's not the case, then you have an uphill battle to let people know that you are you and that you're talented and that you have the skills to do this stuff, because there's just going to be a barrier to this kind of no name, no face, fresh account that sounds and looks this way, especially when there is generated artwork and other stuff that kind of points in the same direction, right? So the way I'm approaching this is not that it's like this is a bad thing, we got to correct it, and I'm mad that it's happening. I don't care, But the way that I'm approaching it is, if that's not the case, then you should be much more transparent with how you approach marketing your music so that people understand and value what you do as a great producer, right? So that's kind of what I'm looking for. That's kind of what I'm looking for. To me, all roads kind of point there just based on how certain things sound. It could just be fresh air. It could be high-end frequency exciters. It could be oversaturation and bit crushing, or a combination of all 4 or 5 of these different things that are causing this mix to, crush just a little bit more in those top frequencies more than maybe you typically want. It could just be a combination of stylistic choices. But then you point all of that with all of the other details that we're talking about. That's where you start to run into some of those issues. I have heard. Oh yeah, so many. Yeah, I've heard so many. It's not limiting. Limiting isn't the issue. So what you'll hear is, as soon as the drums come in, you'll hear the aliasing at the top. You'll hear that fuzz. And again, we're working this in with actual saturation, with some actual bit crushing, with some actual fuzz that's happening, right? Some actual texture and movement in there. The vocal, let me go to the vocal really quick. So once again, if it's not, then we have some work to do. Right. So that's the way that I want to approach it. If you're saying it's not, I'll just choose to believe that, right? I have no reason to necessarily believe otherwise outside of what I see through all of these different things. The other issue, let me also preface this, Ronnie. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. If y'all want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, just read through and follow the details. Let me also say this. There was an artist that came to me last week. An artist, and Grady, it's good to see you as well. Sorry, it's just how you tap in. There's an artist that came to me last week who they are working with a producer. They paid someone to mix their song. They're working with another like executive producer. They did, because I know them as musicians and I know the stuff that they play. They did play their song and like record their song and track their song. And then they sent it to an engineer. Hyacinth is a small amount out. They sent it to another engineer, and that engineer ran the song through Suno to mix it. And they paid him money for it. That engineer ran it through Suno in order to mix the song. And so they produced something real. I know him as a musician. They were doing all these different things, and they're pretty talented. They're not like amazing, but they're pretty talented. My assumption is the engineer got it and said, this is more work than I want to do. They ran it through Suno. And so when they came in for a consultation one time, and I was listening to the track, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. This sounds like AI. And then we actually ran it through a service that allows you to check if something is AI. And it said it's 100%. It was 100% AI. It also even gave that it was from like Suno 5.0 or whatever, something like that. So it was like completely run through Suno to do the mixing process. So, anyways, I want people to be aware that there's a lot of different variations of its use and stuff like that too. So Vasco, my challenge to you, what's up, Retrack? Good to see you, man. My challenge to you is if this is not, then I would encourage you as an artist, as a producer, as a DJ, whatever capacity that you're working on your music in, that you're more transparent with your process. That's the only way that you're going to get any traction, for one. It's the only way that you're going to get any traction is for people to like see you producing, making a beat on YouTube, come to how much the engineer actually cares. Yeah, and also, Chris, I'm also, there's onus on the artist too. There is onus on the artist too. Like most of us, we're adults. You know what I mean? Like we are mature adults who can have good conversations. You can look at someone's work. You can look at their track record. You can, talk to them on the phone and see what they're all about and hear your own mix back and be like, this sounds funky. What's going on? Engineer, what did you use to process this? And they give you all the details and said, hey, cut that other bullshit out and get out of here. I don't want that on my song unless you do, right? So to me, like there's an onus on the artist. There's an onus on the artist to do your due diligence as well and have hard conversations if it's necessary. But anyways, Vasco, what I hear, like again, sonically, what I'm experiencing is cool, right? It's a really cool production structure. You have interesting sound design. I do like the vocals, all this great stuff. Gav, thank you for the heartbeat. But what you're going to run into if you don't offer more transparency in your process on your social pages, even in like your release pages and stuff like that, there's a whole bio in your about right there that is SEO on Spotify, stuff like that. If that stuff's not filled out, and there's just very little paths pointing to what you do and that it's real, and that it takes talent and it takes effort, that you've been working at it for a long time and you've built all of these skills and you're trying to gain exposure and a following and whatever. If there's none of that there, then it's just going to, people will either one or two things. They'll either just think it's fake, right? They'll either just be like, it's probably AI. I see generated stuff on their page. I see no videos or no anything, right? I don't see anything that points to it being real. So they'll either just think it's fake. They'll either just think it's generated, or it just won't be interesting enough for them to keep going, right? It just won't, like, they'll be like, oh man, this is like, they might hear this on a place like, oh, this is a dope artist, and they go to your Instagram or they go to your TikTok or something like that, and then they'll just be like, wait, like, hold on, like, what's, like, there's nothing here. There's no reason for me to follow. There's no journey for me to be a part of. There's no artist or producer story that matters, that, that actually makes people want to stick, right? To stick around. And so that's what, like, again, either way, no matter which way this turns, that is where I would definitely lean. Is you have a cool sound, you have a lot of cool things. So if you're saying this is not generated, fine, right? Fine. But then we need to do some work on the other side to make sure that people can actually relate to you. They can connect to you. They can appreciate your art beyond one single track that they may or may not ever experience on Spotify, right? If we're not pointing to them in a direction through your socials or through some other mediums, then you're going to get stuck. And I don't want you to get stuck. If you really are that talented, I don't want you to get stuck at all. You deserve exposure. You deserve people to connect to you and entertain what you're doing creatively, because it's really cool. That's why I learned to mix myself. I play guitar with one finger. I lost them in an accident. Chris, that's wild, man. Props to you, man. I really appreciate just your resilience in that, man. I know some people that have been through some really incredible things. I know a drummer who lost their leg and they learned how to drum on the opposite side. You know, they learned how to change kicking patterns and stuff like that. And so I appreciate your resilience, man. That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, let me play out kind of the rest of the song here too. Because yeah, I mean, if this is all the stuff that you're talking about here, then people need to be making edits to this. This needs to be promoted on socials. This needs to be playlisted. This needs to be actually structured in a way on the social side that people connect. Because it's sick, right? Like as far as like what you're just hearing, what's up, Kolzix? What we're actually hearing is really interesting, right? And so I want people to be able to connect to it. I want it to be out there. It needs to be out there in a higher scale, in a higher mass. MC Charismatic, welcome in. Because I mean, I love the movement, I love the panning, I love the openness that you have here. The actual like production structure itself is really dynamic and really, really interesting. So that's what all of this is, and I hope this is at least loosely helpful, Vasco. Like all of this is to say, I don't want you to have any hindrance to your success, right? No matter what your process is, right? I don't want you to have any hindrance. I don't want anyone to have any hindrance to their success. And so that's why I'm like pointing out these different things. It's not in any way where I want to like, I'm trying to like nitpick anything, right? I really want to make sure that there's no hindrances to you getting the right artist, for you getting the right exposure, you getting the right playlist, the right, opportunities, all the right spin. And that's why I'm bringing up some of these elements is like, if there's anything that's standing in the way of you reaching your full potential, I want to make sure that those things are addressed no matter what they are. You don't want to be deeper with the darkness. I can feel that. His link profile, find some other copy his email and send. Chris Jordan, thank you for the follow. Yeah, you got it. NK, welcome in. MC Charismatic, let me know if you're still in here. I got your submission. I love bringing it back, the overdriven sample from the vocal. Kid Classic, welcome in. Like, I love those creative decisions of bringing back, let's go, MC, I got you. Bringing back some of the sampling in the background, the little background in there, oversaturated, form and shifted. There's a lot of weight, there's a lot of presence and texture right there. Again, lots of creative decisions that I think are really, really cool. Tina, welcome in. MC Charismatic, would you mind resending your email just because it's been like a week or so? If you wouldn't mind resending the email, I'll get you up at the top. Matthew James, welcome in. I mean, yeah, this is punchy, man. This is punchy, it's punchy. I don't have a submission from you, Kolzix. I don't have a submission from you. Make sure you follow all the steps. I would love to hear what you got, but I don't have one from you. If anybody does want to submit, Jose, welcome in. Go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow all of the steps. If you only follow half of the steps or one little thing, then I won't have a submission from you. So just make sure that you follow all of the steps. That way I make sure I get you on the ground. Toppy, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. Y'all show some love, man. Show some love. No, you're totally good, Vasco. You're totally good. I'm in your corner, man. I'm in your corner here, and I have some challenges for you. And quick reminder as well, if y'all do end up driving, you're doing some other stuff, you're busy, you're listening at work, you get pulled away from a meeting, all of these VODs, every single live stream is saved to the Red app, YT. It is saved to the Red app as soon as the live is over. This will be like episode 50 on there, even though we've done hundreds more. Since I started tracking on there, it'll be episode 50, I believe. So you can go to the live stream, you can go back and listen to the whole thing and kind of get into the details again, reference mix details, whatever you want to do. Foz, thank you for the follow. No worries at all, Vasco. My challenge for you, Vasco, is just start to fill in some of your other information. AJ, thanks for the follow. Fill in some of your other information. That's my challenge to you, right? Again, I'm assuming everything that you're talking about is the case. I want you to fill out everything, right? You need to go into your Spotify for Artist. For one, it's not claimed, I don't think. So let me double check here. Yeah, your Spotify for Artist isn't claimed. So we need to go, let me see. You have your distribution details there. Let me see real quick. Let me see. I'm going to check a couple details here because I want you to have something actionable. It might be claimed. Hold on. Jonathan, welcome in. It might be claimed. It's not showing up on. Yeah. I was going to say, for whatever reason, my Spotify app isn't showing it's not showing the claim. I don't know why. I was like, wait, yeah, I think this is, the editing that you have in there shows that it is claimed. Yeah, no, you're claimed. Okay, so my challenge for you is just to build your credibility, right? Especially as someone who is new to posting what you're doing. Like you're just now getting exposure for your song. You just released it. You're sending it out to people. You're trying to get it heard by a bunch of people on stream and stuff like that. Now your goal you just need to back up one step and build your foundation. Now that you have a claimed account, now that you do have an official release, go back into your about. You get like, I think it's 1,500 characters. You have 1,500 characters, I believe, on Spotify for Artists to fill out information, and that is SEO. That is SEO on Spotify and other DSPs as well. I believe you get 1,000 characters for YouTube music and your YouTube bio for your artist profile. So 1,000 over there, 1,500 over on Spotify. Utilize that for SEO. Utilize that to talk about your journey, talk about your story, the kind of music that you want to make. Use that information, that SEO, to talk about other artists that you take inspiration from. Tag those artists in there. On Spotify, you can actually @ an artist on there to create like an algorithmic link between them. So you can actually it's a clickable link if you @ them. So you could, @ other DJs and producers on there, and their name will actually pop up as a hyperlink. That way people can click it. And if people do click it, that creates links and algorithmic links between those accounts so that you can, it's more chances that if they listen to, this artist over here, they listen to Cashmere Cat, they listen to this other DJ and this other producer, whatever, it'll create threads back to your account. So more people will get your music placed in playlists and added to their own discoveries and stuff like that. So make sure that you fill out that bio. That's going to be huge. Add some other, photos if you feel like it, but make sure you fill out that bio. Make sure you're filling out the information on YouTube. Get all of your accounts on different DSPs claimed. Like, start to build like the credible foundation for your music, because the music itself is fun. The music itself is punchy and it's vibrant. And so make sure that everything else that you're doing supports that vision. Make sure that everything you're doing on socials actually supports that, because again, the talent is there, the sound is there, the energy is there. Now people need to connect to you. That's the only way that you're going to get traction and movement. They got to get connected with you. They need to see what you're doing. They need to feel what you're doing, and use different platforms for different reasons. Maybe you're a little bit more polished on Instagram and you only use photos. I think that's what you have right now, right? You only use photos, and it's a little bit more strict. On TikTok, you're doing a little bit more in-depth, like short form content. On YouTube, do behind the scenes of like how you set up a DJ set or how you set up this whole song. Go into the back, like spend 12 minutes on a YouTube video in long form, just talking about how you built the bass line in the song and how you structured everything in Ableton and how you routed your buses. Like, I don't know, start creating a little bit more of a network for what you do so you can build some credibility as a producer, because you're solid, man. You're solid. Y'all show some love to Vasco. And I like the aesthetic too. Like, even like your picture on here and stuff like that. I like your aesthetic. I like the name. The sound is really, it's dark, it's moody, all that fun stuff. So y'all give it up one time for Vasco. Vasco, I appreciate you. I hope that wasn't a weird start to your first consultation. I don't ever mean to like come at it from a negative standpoint. I just also want to be honest about how people perceive things, no matter what is the case. If people are going to perceive something a certain way, we want to do some things to help mitigate any limitations to you getting as much work and as much exposure as you're looking to get. Of course, man, I appreciate you a lot. Doris, thanks for tapping in. Thanks for tapping in. Thanks for tapping in. Let me see. Dan, thanks for tapping in. I appreciate you being here. Let me double check a couple things here. I still don't have one. I'm gonna refresh over here. Kolzix, I still don't have a submission. I still do not have a submission. Let me double check. Let's see. Darice, appreciate you tapping in. AJ, thanks for tapping in. If anybody wants to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, just read through and follow all the details there. We'll get you up on the board ready to go. Let's see this over here. Antonio, welcome in as well. Let me get MC Charismatic up on the board up here. Beautiful. MC, hop in the chat. Just let me know that you're here. Kiltemi, thank you for tapping in as well. All right, let me just double check a few things here. It's going to be short and sweet today. I'm assuming you're only sending the email, Kolzix. Definitely read through all the details, top to bottom. So make sure that, you can go through the FAQ, everything. Just make sure if you have only sent an email, then you're not reading all the details. So I want to make sure that you read all the details, just so for your sake, for both of our sake. That way it's really clear, it's really concise. You know exactly what's happening in the structure of the live stream. So I probably have, I have a bunch of emails and that's it. So just double check all of the details there. I just got the other one. Double check all of the details. That way you can make sure that you have everything lined up the way that it's supposed to be. We got Charismatic in the building. Charismatic, I got your updated email. Let's see. This is from Parking Lots. Let's go. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Make sure that it is a paid, it's a paid service. It's not a review. It's not a trash or pass rating or poll. It's a paid long form consultation. We're going to spend, every artist is different. The amount of depth and the amount of detail we go into is going to depend on what the artist is looking for in any particular case. And so it is a paid service. It's about 30 minutes per artist that we get on here. We listen for 20 to 30 minutes, go through the track multiple times to really get into those details. But that's why I say, please read through all the details, because people will just literally skip half the words there. And I don't want you to do that. I would never do that. Make sure that y'all are reading through all the details. That way you can understand. We have a ton of details there. We have an FAQ. We have TOS. You can read through all of that to make sure that you're locked and ready to go. 5 minutes. Welcome in. Thanks for tapping in today. All right, let's keep it going. We got MC Charismatic in the building. MC, just hop in the chat really quick. Let me know where you're at. Scotty's in the building. What's up, Scotty? I'm getting the track pulled up right now. Let me see. Lee Butler's in the building. Yeah, if anybody wants to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, just read through and follow all the details. Let's see if it'll let me download. 1 sec. Beautiful. Random pianist in the building. Welcome in. Galastar, how you feeling? All right, let's see. Greg, appreciate you tapping in. Okay, MC, let me know where you're at. I got your updated email. I got you pulled up. You're ready to go. Parking Lots by Chris. Random pianist, thank you. I appreciate you. Please react to a song. It's called Ati to Osama, 6 Stitches. Thank you for tapping in. If you do want to submit, we're going to get into some more music here in a second. Doris, sorry, I just saw that heart me. I appreciate that. I think that was from a while ago, but I appreciate you sending that. If you do want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow all the steps. We'll get you up on the board. If you want to see the line, the order, and the minimum, go to the red app. YT, you can see the line, the order, and the minimum over there. Let me see. I'm going to wait for Jew. Appreciate you tapping in. I'm waiting for MC Charismatic. They sent it. They came in. They sent. I have their updated email. I have the song pulled up, and now I don't see it. 555, welcome in. We don't do reactions. What we do here at Track Talk are 20 to 30 minute consultations. So every artist, producer, vocalist, songwriter that comes in, we spend 20 to 30 minutes listening to their song 2 to 3 different times, or their production. If they're a producer or an instrumentalist, 2 to 3 different times, spend 20, 25, 30 minutes breaking down the structure of the mix, production elements, sound design, lyric and song structure, diving into the details of their music and getting into the nuances of what they're doing in order to offer specific and practical actionable feedback on the structure of their music. We go really, really in depth to make sure that we're giving as much value and as much detailed feedback as possible. So it's not a quick review. There is no trash or pass. There's no ratings. There's no polls. It is strictly about offering as much value as possible and really getting into those nuances. And for those of you who don't know, hopefully MC Charismatic pops up in a second. They literally just sent in, and then I didn't see where they went. Shantae, welcome in. For those of you who don't know, my name is Torvik. I'm a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That is what I do for a living. Done that for the last 14 plus years. I'm also a classically trained pianist. That is kind of the structure, the perspective of the live stream here. I'm not here to tell you, I'm not here to hype you up. I'm not here to trash you. We're here to just dig into the details of your music and offer as much value as we have the capacity to. I'm not going to be on for very long. I would say maybe another hour and a half, Zach. Another hour and a half or so. MC Charismatic, let me know where you're at. Ashton, welcome in. Another hour and a half or so. Let me see. Let me double check a couple things here. Bobby, let me know if you're here. John B, let me know if you're here. Marcel, let me know if you're here. Why did I have a bunch of people that came in? You watch my YouTube videos? No way. Are you lying? Is it Nada? Am I saying that correctly? Are you lying? If you actually do, that's amazing. thank you so much. Okay, next live working on sounds good, Zach. Yeah, I'll be on tomorrow, Zach. The production ones. You taught me how to use Ableton when I started. I don't use Ableton, so it might be someone else. Unfortunately, I was very excited for a moment there. But I don't use Ableton, so it most likely was someone else. Although that would be really cool. David, thank you for tapping in. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, I was like, that's so cool. Because I do post production videos and stuff like that. But I was like, wait, hold on. That'd be amazing. Hey, no worries at all. No worries at all. Is it, I use Pro Tools. I've used them all. So I have used Ableton before, but just not prolifically enough to like post videos on it. I use Pro Tools. I've used Pro Tools for the last like 19 years. So that's my DAW of choice, but I still have FL Studio. I've used Ableton. I've used Logic. I've used Studio One. I've used Reason. I've used, a whole bunch of different ones. But yeah, but Pro Tools is my DAW of choice. And that's what I've used since I was like 13 years old. Okay, Denial. I think I got like 2.5. Thank you, after all. I appreciate that. Yeah. New bands, old bands. Old stuff, new stuff. Shantae, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. If anybody does want to submit, and I appreciate that, Chris Camera, thank you. If you do want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and just read through it and follow all of the steps there. Nada, thank you so much for the follow as well. I appreciate it. And is it Denial? Am I saying that correctly? I want to make sure that I'm saying it correctly. I got like $2.46. So just make sure that you do send in a full submission, just because I just got this little partial, like a random amount. So just double check all of that. That way I can make sure Daniel, if you're from the US, I want to say it right. So correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, I'll double check, Paul. Yeah, if y'all are submitting, because I get a lot of emails. I get a ton of emails. So if y'all are submitting, just please make sure that you do read through and follow all of the steps, top to bottom. Read through all of the steps. That way I can make sure we're all on the same page. How do you feel about the Rode NT1A? I like it. I've used a ton of them. And I work with a lot of artists. It's such a popular mic. I work with a ton of artists that like and use it as well. When I was training in studio, we were training with the original NTs that were coming in from Australia, from Rode. We got like a big batch of them at the studio that I was training in and working in at the time. This was like probably 13 years ago, when I was working out of the studio. And we got a whole batch of them. So when we got a big shipment of them into the studio, we were micing drums, we were micing pianos, we were micing vocalists, we were, micing guitar cabs and bass cabs. We put them on everything. Mitchell, welcome in. We put them on everything. And a lot of people loved it. I mean, in my opinion, it's a little bright. It could be a little shrill sometimes, but for a now I think the NT1, like the basic NT1 goes for like what, $140, $150, something like that. That's a cheap microphone. It's a lot of mic for that. It's a lot of mic for that price. It's not like my favorite, but it does a great job. I just always tell people to like listen to yourself on it. If you listen on a mic and like and you think you sound good on it and it works well with your vocal or the particular instruments that you're utilizing in your space, then run with it. Go for it. Nobody can tell you differently, right? Just use what you get the capacity to do and use it until you run into a limitation. And if you have the capacity to upgrade. That's what I've done every single time. I've gone from super cheap microphones to mics like this that are very expensive. And like every single time that I've upgraded a microphone, it's been for a very specific purpose. It has been for a specific use case or a specific like sonic profile that I was looking to acquire, and I upgraded very specifically for that reason. Like I had some earlier microphones that I got that were too bright and brittle, and I wanted something really warm and flat and tube driven, so I got this one. Like the NT1A is great. Just if you like the way that you sound on it, keep it forever. You know what I mean? And you never have to upgrade necessarily. If you run into some issues where it feels like you're limited in quality for any reason, and you're just having to do a lot to make it sound good, then you might want to get something a little bit different. Just got to use what makes sense. All right, I'm looking for okay. So MC, I'm still looking for MC. So I got some people that are like, it's been a little interesting. Okay, I'm trying to figure some stuff out. Don't get the 103. I implore you, don't get the 103. Don't get a 102. Don't get a 103. The 103 is even brighter and even worse. I would rather have an NT1A than a 103. I have a 102. And I'm selling it as soon as I possibly can. I've had it for years. I don't like that. I don't like that mic at all. Most great engineers that I know don't like that mic either. I've used tons of 103s. I know tons of people that use 103s. I know probably like in my personal circle, I know probably 4 or 5 other engineers that have 102s. I personally have a 102. I don't like that microphone. They're like shrill, bright, and brittle. It works in very specific use cases. There's very specific use cases where it can work okay. If you have an airy female vocal, it can be okay, right? Because it's going to complement that. If you have like an airy female vocal at a close proximity, it can do a pretty decent job with good breath control of like giving you that shimmer and that kind of sheen over the top of the mix. Anything else? There's so many better options that are for half the price. Every once in a while I have like, if I'm recording like a bright acoustic guitar, that can do pretty well with the 102 or a 103. But I can nearly assure you, like 99.99. If we were like to tear down all the bullshit, right? If we were to like cut through the noise for a second of every engineer and like ego was out the window, we're not talking about ego, we're not talking about anything. 99% of people that have ever bought a TLM 102 or a TLM 103 have bought it because it said Neumann on it. And they thought, and I posted a whole YouTube video on this because this was my experience 7 years ago when I bought mine. I bought it because it was a Neumann and I wanted a Neumann because all the important people talked about Neumanns. And this is the cheapest way to get a Neumann. And I thought that would give me some credibility, right? And I know so many people that do this. I personally know like 10 different studios that literally bought a U87AI, not because it sounded good, not because it was the best for the artist they were working with, not because they liked the sound, but because it would give them business because a bunch of other people saw a bunch of other people use it. And this cycle goes on and on and on and on and on. And next thing you know, everyone has like the same bright, shrill, brittle vocal pattern and no one knows why. And it's because everyone's using the same, overly exaggerated, frequency profiles on these microphones. Anyways, that's a side tangent. What mic would you suggest for melodic vocals for male 30? And thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it a lot. Sorry for the rant too. I know I'm ranting here a little bit. I just don't want you to waste $700 on a microphone where you can get so much more for it. For that same price, if you're looking kind of in that same price, I would highly recommend, and I don't work with any of these companies. I highly recommend the Lautwin Audio LA320. I think that is the best microphone for the price. That's a $700 microphone new. It is a tube microphone. So it is nice and bright. It is open. You have a lot of good control on there, low and high pass, polar pattern, stuff like that. It is a tube saturated microphone. So you are going to get some natural like softness and saturation. It is very bright, but you get that shaving off of the top end that feels really warm and really inviting to listen to while still allowing your vocal to really punch and really, really drive through the mix. I think that is the best microphone you can get for the price if you have just like a pretty like typical vocal, right? Like if you are an R&B pop vocalist, a bunch of other vocalists too, but if you kind of work in that space and you don't have some like crazy outlier like deep operatic voice, then I think that microphone is probably the best that you can get for $700. You can find them used for like 500, 550. LA320. If you want to go a little bit cheaper, I would go with Lewitt. I think Lewitt is probably the best budget microphone out there. If you want to go super cheap, closer to the price that you're at, I would go with the LCT 240 Pro. If you want to go a little higher, go with the 440. You can always push a little bit higher into their two microphones. But if you want to go budget microphone, I wouldn't really turn anywhere outside of Lewitt or Loudon. I think those are the two best companies, the best service, build quality, sonic profile. I love them. I have some Loudons here in the studio. I use Loudons on my overheads. I have LA 120s that I use over on my drums. I use those to mic rooms. I use them to mic drums. I use them to mic acoustic guitars in stereo. I've used them for a lot of different things. They come with multiple capsules. They're great. They're great. I love them. So yeah, if you want to go cheap, 440, Lewitt 440 is probably the next little step for you. It's a little bit of a bump up from what you're using right now. I think those are great, and you can always go higher. They're the pure tubes. I think it's the 10 or the 940. I think it's the 940 or 840 pure tube. It's fantastic from Lewitt. Amazing. LA320, amazing. 7B, yeah, 7B is great. I have a 7B, but I use it for a very particular use case, right? It's a dynamic hypercardioid microphone, and so if you have a specific use case that requires a little bit higher SPL, you have a lot more going into it. You have a loud voice, whatever it may be. SM7B can be good. It's good at rejection, so you have an untreated space. 7B can be great for that. But I just have it for particular use cases. So if I need something, Jay, welcome in. What's up, Joe? So if I need something like, if I want like a really high quality vocal or high quality source, I'm going to be tracking with the M147. It's a $3,700 microphone. I want to make sure that it's as good and as clean as a profile as possible. Thank you for that, Mustache Man. Appreciate you. If I have something that's really bright and really airy that maybe can handle a little bit more brittleness in the mix, then I'll probably go with the 102. If I need something that needs rejection, I need high SPL levels, maybe I'm mic in a cab, maybe I have it on my hi-hats, maybe I have it on something else, or just like a rock vocal, a heavy rap vocal, then the 7B, I might bring that on into the mix, but 99% of the time, this is the mic I go with. It sounds so good. But yeah, I think I recommend that, especially if you're starting to build more of a locker, you're starting to get a little bit more in your catalog of mics and stuff like that. Just go with something, go with items that are not like flexes. Nobody talks about this microphone. It's one of the reasons why I love it too. Like this is not a U87. It's the same price as a U87. It's a Neumann. It's a tube microphone, but nobody talks about it. Nobody I very, very rarely hear people talking about the M147. I'm obsessed with this mic. I love this mic. I have not put this microphone on a single thing that sounds bad. It does an amazing job. And so anyways, this is a long-winded rant, all to just say, don't get microphones out of hype. Don't get it out of pressure. Don't get it to build credibility for anyone. Again, I'm speaking to myself 7 years ago, kind of like, don't get into gear thinking that it is going to give you credibility. Because if you cannot use it to give it a great result and have a great end product, then if anything, it's actually going to diminish your credibility, because you're going to be that guy with $20,000 worth of stuff in his studio that can't mix a trap beat. So I would just really encourage anybody out here who is like trying to get into gear and upgrade your gear and upgrade your equipment, make sure that you are getting into it for the right reasons. And it is because you have reached a limitation in quality and your skills actually have built enough of a foundation that it allows you some freedom to upgrade, and you have the financial capacity to do so. And then put some money on the table and get some upgraded gear, but not until then. Don't do it until you've reached those limitations, because the gear won't fix it for you. Okay, Daniel, really quick, if you're still in the chat, let me know. I got $2.46 from you on PayPal. Just make sure that you do a full submission. make sure that you do a full submission so I can get you up on the board. Because that's a super random amount. I'm not sure why it's that amount. It might just be some weird thing with PayPal, but just double check all that, double check all the details, and then we'll get you up on the board, man. I appreciate you so much. Thanks for hanging out in the chat a little bit as well. AD, welcome in. Joe, I hope you're doing fantastic, man. It's good to see you in the chat as well. MC Charismatic, let's get into it. Let's get into it. I already got you cleared right here. Let's dive in. You sent, what was the 246? What was the 246? Because that was you, right? I got you pulled up, Charismatic. You're here, ready to go. Tiny, welcome in. Thank you so much for tapping into the stream. Ready to the office. No, you're good. So yeah, okay, just double check all that, Daniel, because I got 246, and that's just like a quarter, or like not even, I don't know. It's a random number. It was a random number. So just double check. Go to the profile. Go to the link. Read through all the details there. Make sure that you fill out what you need to, or make sure that you send what you need to, and I'll get you up on the board. But I was confused by the 246 because that's not even like a 5 or like a half or whatever. I was like, wait, what is the 246? Double check that and make sure you send what you need to, and then I'll get you up on the board. I was confused for a second here. All right, let's dive into MC Charismatic, and then we'll get things updated. All right, this is Parking Lots by Chris. Let's dive in. And then MC Charismatic, it's been a minute, so give me some updates. Give me some updates on what I'm listening to. Talk to me about the structure of it. Talk to me about like what you're doing creatively here, where you're getting your production, who's handling mixing, stuff like that. It's been a while, so give me some updates. What's up, Blue? Welcome in. Sorry, I missed that comment over there.
Like we used to, rapping about the days we all wish were true. Now it's a bunch of fuck yous. Who the fuck are you? I can't believe all the shit that finally came true. Didn't see your spark go out while my flame grew. Now I'm the only one that never stayed true. Couldn't see your lies, you had them hidden deep inside. I was writing new lines while you were sniffing goodbyes. Life fed you by the neck till you turned blue. You saw a new way to get new hoes. I was looking for new goals. Now I'm sitting in this parking lot riding without you. Where the fuck are you? Battling some demons, you let them in. You believed them, you turned your L's as I'm burning. I turn my L's into earning. That's what learning is. I embrace the pain like a titan in the storm. I'm ready for the rain.
I love that, man. I love that, MC. I appreciate that. That's not easy to do. Welcome back, Jenna.
Shadows of your memories will always stay the same. The pictures of you will no longer remain. This is my dream, I'll make it for me. We ain't enemies, you just got some messed up chemistry. You're lacking all the energy, you're losing the pain. Yeah, it's goodbye for now, time for the story to change. You ain't to blame, I'm just writing it away. So it's still a hell away, I got a story to make. The shadow of your memories will always stay the same. The pictures of you will no longer remain. This is my dream, I'll make it for me. We ain't enemies, you just got some messed up chemistry. You're lacking all the energy, you're losing the pain. Yeah,
Dragon, welcome in. Connor, welcome in. Okay, welcome in.
You ain't to blame, I'm just writing it away. So stay the hell away, I got a story to make. Not even one.
What are you tracking your vocals in? Like, what DAW are you using?
We stood tall. We could have had it all. You lost.
Thanks for tapping in. I appreciate you being here.
Remember that was yesterday. Today's a different day. You found your escape. I'm still searching for ways to be great. I don't know what's left for me to say. Yeah, turn it all around and be a hell of a day.
I'm glad you're here. Thanks for tapping in.
But you slipped away with all of the smoke. Yeah, you should have stayed away. Watched you fade like a ghost in the night. I embraced the pain. I was ready for the fight. Memories linger, but I won't forget the laughter, the tears, and the moment we met. Now I'm standing strong like a titan in the storm, facing loss and pain. I became much more, was everything I felt like you could have too. You never even looked or tried to find the truth. Now I'm in these parking
lots. Shout out to Vietnam. Let's go. Thank you for tapping in today. Studio 1.5. Okay, cool.
In the rear view, I know this isn't you.
Studio 1's great for playlisting, so we'll talk about that.
But I gotta take it day by day. I had to leave and make a one-man
Got you,
crew.
Daniel. Got you.
The shadow of your memories will always stay the same.
You're good to go.
The pictures of you will no longer remain. This is my dream. I'll make it for me. We ain't enemies. You just got some messed up chemistry.
Absolutely.
You're lacking all the
Definitely.
energy, you're losing the pain. Yeah, it's goodbye for now, time for the story to change. You ain't to blame, I'm just writing it away. So stay the hell away, I got a story to make. Saddle your memories will always stay the same. The pictures of you will no longer remain. This is my dream, I'll make it for me. We ain't enemies, you just got some messed up chemistry. You're lacking all the energy, you're losing the pain. Yeah, it's goodbye for now, time for the story to change. You ain't to blame, I'm just writing it away. So stay the hell away, I got a story to make.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Y'all show some love. 8:50 music. Welcome in. Daniel, I got you. You are up on the board. You're ready to go. If you do want to submit, if anybody in here wants to submit, if you're on TikTok, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow all of the steps there. We'll get you up on the board, ready to go. If you want to check the line, go to the Red app. YT. You can check the line order and minimum over there. And then if you're on the Red app, you can go to the description for the live stream. You can find the submission link there. If you're on the Purple app, type !submit right there in the chat, and you'll see everything that you need. So Currency got that. I got you. I was like, wait, what is going on? I was a little bit confused. I was a little bit confused. I was like, wait, hold on, because it wasn't even like, sometimes people said 5, just because they're used to it, maybe from another, like they joined some other like live streams and stuff, and so like that's typical, you know. So I'm like, hey, hold on, just make sure you read through the details. You're good to go. But I got 246. Like, hold on 1 second, what's going on? Okay. Let me double check a few things here. Let me get everything up in order. Daniel, I got you up on the board. You're ready to go. Do you mind if I share Jordan live to you, as you can see? Yeah, you could send whoever to me. I don't know if, I mean, while I'm live, I won't be able to see anything, but okay, if anybody else wants to submit though, go to my profile, click on the link, and just read through and follow all those details. Check the line over on the Red app. You'll be ready to go. Okay, MC Charismatic, let's dig into it. Let's run it from the top. Let's dive into some details here, and let's get into it. Chaos, welcome in as well. I'm excited to dive into this, man. It's been a while since I've heard your music, so I really want to break down a couple elements here to just really lock in the quality of your, for me, it's in particular, it's like vocal comping, phrasing, and then of course, like the mix can happen. And even as someone who works professionally as an engineer, I'm not worried about the mix. The mix can happen. You can always get that better. We can talk some details about that. But for me, none of that matters if like the song structure itself and your phrasing, the performance itself, the way that it's perceived, doesn't line up, right? We need to make sure that that is solid, that lines up. You can always get a better mix. You can always improve on the sibilance in your vocal and rebalancing things and saturating properly and whatever. I'm not too worried about that. I want to get the structure down. That to me is more important than anything. So let's run it from the top. Let's get into the details. This is Parking Lots by MC Charismatic right here in the chat. Let's get it. Hold up. There we go. And we're back. There's the audio. Queen Diva, thank you for the follow. Okay, so right off the bat, even this is early intro here, I would highly recommend that you have some sort of a vocal structure. There's a lot of time. Asher, welcome in. There's a lot of time before any of your vocal structure comes in. Quick rule of thumb, just because I mentioned this probably once live, and I'll just throw it back out there again, just so everybody knows. There is a 30-second streaming threshold before most major DSPs count your track as having been streamed. A 30-second streaming threshold before DSPs count your track as streamed. That means that you could have 1 million people stream your song for 28 seconds, and you will see 0 streams and 0 cents from those streams. You have to have at least 30 seconds having been streamed in order for that stream to count, for you to get paid for it to show up as streams, right? So you want to make sure that you do, in some sense, optimize the intros of your song, right? It doesn't mean you can't have a longer intro. That intro just needs to be really interesting. You know what I mean? Like the intro just has to be dynamic. I encourage most people to introduce some form of a vocal structure within the first like 5 to 10 seconds. This could be a million different things. This could be you starting the song with a hook or going straight into your verse, cutting a lot of your intro time, just doing 2 measures or 4 measures, and you kick straight into it. This could be you sampling your hook and putting in the intro. This could be you taking the last part of the second verse and filtering it out with the chorus and having it play at the intro of the song. This could be you taking a deep breath. You'll hear some artists, even major artists, that will literally just go at the beginning of their songs, right? Or you'll hear them just say, yeah, right? Some of it is, I guess, to be cool, but it's also just early vocal introduction. It gives some level of anticipation. When you hear a vocal early on, even if the actual song doesn't start for 42 seconds, you hear a vocal early on, most people are going to stick around because they want to know what you have to say. They're like, okay, there's a human here in front of me. I'm about to hear something. Introduce yourself early on, right? So when we get into this first intro here, there's nothing wrong with this production, right? But there's no like new, beneficial information to the structure of the song. James, thank you for the follow. We're already 20 seconds in. What's up, 19 Rowdies? Welcome in. Ryan, welcome in. There's 30 seconds in. So already skipped, right? Already skipped. So as soon as we're going to be 35 seconds, probably 36 seconds. Yeah, 35 seconds before the verse vocal comes in. So we need something happening there. Ryan, I appreciate you tapping in. I make sure y'all don't spam the chat. I don't want y'all to get muted by a mod or anything. If you do want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and just read through and follow all the steps there. We'll get you up on the board, ready to go. If you want to check the line, go to the red app, YT, so you can read through and see all the details there. I'm sorry, ignore that. So you can see the line, the order, and the minimum. That's where you're going to see it there. Majestic, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. So I would just highly suggest, K Beats, welcome in, highly suggest that you optimize that intro either by cutting it in half and starting the track as soon as that kind of like distorted synth in the background comes in or distorted guitar comes in, and or building in some production structure early in, some vocal production structure early in by talking, by rapping, by a copy of your hook, of a vocal sample, of you taking a couple deep breaths, etc. Whatever you got to do, light a lighter, right? Let someone know that you're there, that the whole thing comes down to let someone know that you're there. If they know you're there early on, they are more likely to stick around. I encourage most people, to try to do that within the 10, with max 15 seconds, max 15 seconds. Hey, sounds good, Shantae. I appreciate you joining for a while today. Thank you for being here. All right. K Beats, good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Parking lot like we used to. Rapping about the days we all wish were true. Now it's a bunch of fuck yous. Who the fuck are you? I can't believe all the shit that finally came true. Didn't see your spark go out while my flame grew. Now I'm the only one that never stayed true. Couldn't see your life.
Okay, I would recommend, I don't recommend this for everybody, but in this particular case, I definitely recommend it. You're in Studio One, which is great for comping and playlisting as a good platform for it. If you are doing a lot of vocal production, like if the vast majority of what you do is like tracking vocals, I recommend Studio One, Logic, or Pro Tools largely, just because their comping interface, their playlisting interface and comping interface, I think is the best and the easiest to use. I use Pro Tools, but I've also used Studio One and Logic. It's great for that. So if you're doing a lot of vocal production, those are great platforms for it. Every DAW, there's not like a right or wrong or a good or bad. They just have different priorities and different user interfaces that are, the more people like on some and like on others, right? But if you're doing a lot of vocal comping, I think Logic, Pro Tools, Studio One, they're all great for that. In this particular case, what you're running into in this song too is a lot of phrasing issues. So what happens is you're doing a lot of one takes, right? So you're like running this whole verse or this, maybe even the whole song, but this whole verse in like one shot. And so what's happening is you're losing breath control. And when you start losing breath control and you're starting to exert a lot more in these fast sequences, these fast cadences and phrases, when you are really, really allowing that to move, you lose breath control and you start to rush lyric structure. So then what happens is you start a line really good, and then about 6 seconds into that line, 5 seconds into that line, you start rushing it because you're getting towards the end of your breath control. You take a deep breath really fast, and then you end up rushing the next couple lines, and they come in a little bit faster, right? So every time you're starting like fresh phrases and sequences with your vocal, your timing gets off, right? You lose control of your breath. You end up having to rush a couple lyrics. And since you rush the lyrics, then you like randomly kind of stretch out another word to like make it fit again. You know what I mean? So you'll start to see these kind of discrepancies in timing and sequence and cadence in your vocal because you're not only losing breath and then having to rush some of those lyrics because you're trying to fit it all in before you need to take a deep breath, then you're getting really strong breaths in the song, and then you're having to like draw out other words and like change the timing of them and make them kind of a little funky in their rhythm in order to fit in the next lines. I would highly recommend, highly recommend, do what you can with your single shots and punching in, but I would also recommend that you comp. Purple, thank you for the follow. I would highly recommend that you comp that way, talking about live or studio performance. We could talk about anything. We could talk about anything in this particular consultation that we're doing with this artist. We're talking about studio performance, just in this particular song. But we can talk. We do talk. We do talk live sound a decent amount here in this particular consultation. It's a studio recording. Let me back it up a little bit.
Now it's a bunch of fuck yous. Who the fuck are you? I can't believe all the shit that finally came true. Didn't see your spark go out.
Absolutely. Thank you for the follow, Martine. I appreciate it. Yeah, Daniela, if anybody wants to submit, go to my profile, click on the link. Just read through and follow all the details there. Check the line over on the red app, YT, so you can see the line, the order, the minimum, so on and so on. I'm only going to be on for like another hour. I'm not going to be on for very long today. I've got I've been working all day in the studio, so I had a bunch of sessions. I'm not able to do a whole lot tonight, so might be on a little bit longer tomorrow. I'm not positive. I just do these live streams for a couple hours in between all the other work that I'm doing here. So a little bit shorter tonight. I can maybe take like another song or two.
I'm the only one that never stayed true. Couldn't see your lies. You had them hidden deep inside. I was writing new lines while you were sniffing goodbyes.
You can hear that the last couple lines there gets a little bit faster. Martine, I'm in San Antonio, Texas.
True.
We were my wife and I were in Dallas for about 2.5 years, up until about maybe 7 months or so ago. And then I had a studio up there that I worked out of for a while, and then we moved back here to San Antonio, which is like our home city.
Couldn't see your lies. You had them hidden deep inside. I was writing new lines.
Start to hear the rush here a little bit, deep inside. You start to hear it rush a little bit, and then you'll start lengthening some words to catch back up.
While you were sniffing goodbyes, life fed you by the day true. Couldn't see your lies, you had them hidden deep inside. I was writing new lines while you were sniffing goodbyes. Life fed you by the neck till you turned blue. You saw a new way to get new hoes. I was looking for new goals. Now I'm sitting in this parking lot writing without.
Starting to rush a little, but you got to take a quick break. So those are the phrases, right? That's kind of what I'm talking about here. That's just diaphragmatic support. That's lung capacity. That's vocal control. I want you to just cut all of that out, and I want you to just go measure by measure. Da 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 da. Comp. Do 4 takes of that vocal. Choose the best one that feels the easiest to swing into the next one. Track the next line. Boom. And if you need to lead in, you can. Like if you need to have a couple lead in lines that lead into these comps, you can, and then you can move them and crossfade them back in. It'll be super seamless and super smooth. But what we're dealing with now is, again, you're forcing yourself to operate vocally in a space that's really, 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 really challenging. Where you're forced to like use a lot of breath and then take quick breaths and then rush lyric structure. The way that it gets, even if like the lyrics are really good, and you do have some really good lyrics in here. Even if the lyrics are really good, the way that it's portrayed is as like a workout on the other side, right? Like I'm hearing someone work really hard for their lyrics on this end, again, not even talking as an engineer or producer. On this end, I'm hearing a vocal that is being like strived to get through, that someone's working really, really hard to get all of the lyrics in, take all of the breaths, make sure you can read all of the lyrics off of your phone really fast, all of that stuff. I can sense the work. And so I find myself just trying to like hear what you're doing and not hearing what you're saying. I hope that makes sense. I'm like paying attention to like how you're rapping, not even as like a producer, but like I'm just paying attention to like how you're rapping and listening for like what's going on, as opposed to settling back and just like hearing your lyrics, hearing your story, feeling the emotion of what you're talking about and the message that you're trying to portray. So I really want you to like take a step back. Don't feel like you need to one-shot everything. Take a step back and just comp. Just take line by line, measure by measure, execute it beautifully, memorize the lyric on that line. Like that's the other thing too, is a lot of times when you're not comping and you're one-shotting, you're going to be here. And then you lose a lot of like the emotional expression that I think makes, music so powerful, right? Sometimes it's fine to read your lyrics. Sometimes that's okay. Sometimes you can have it on a screen in the studio. You can have it on your phone. It's fine. I do that sometimes too, right? And I work with artists that do as well. But as much as you can, try to memorize the lyrics. Feel the emotion of that track. That's harder to do when you're memorizing 612 words over a song. You got 128 bars on the song. It's crazy. And so I want you to be able to relax. I want you to be able to just like focus on the lyrics, feel the emotion, express it accurately and authentically, and then move on from there. That to me changes everything. That to me changes absolutely everything, because right now it's like I hear a pretty cool beat and I hear a pretty cool vocal and I hear some good lyrics that are in there, but I don't necessarily feel anything because of all of the work that's being put in to get those lyrics out there. You want it to feel effortless. Like when you hear your favorite rappers doing what they're doing, unless there's a very particular separation of this, which is going to happen, of course, but most of like the rappers that you listen to that you love, it feels natural. It feels effortless. Most of even like you hear a vocal, you hear like Ariana Grande hitting a super, super high note, right? In a song, different format here, right? But a super, super high note. If you heard her straining to hit that note, we'd be like, well, just don't hit the note. You know, simplify. Just drop the key 2 semitones. It'll be easier for all of us. You know what I mean? But no, you make it feel, you build skill and you comp in, you know, really, really smoothly so that things feel incredibly natural and it flows really easily, right? And that's what I want you to focus on. I want you to focus on the ease of your experience, because if you do that, our experience is going to be so much better as well. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. It'll be so much more palatable by the consumers, the listeners of your music. Just want to say that's a super generous approach to streaming. Thank you, Martina. I really appreciate that. Thank you for saying that. How you taking subs? Agreed. If you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and just read through and follow all of the steps. Check the line over on the Red app, YT, so you can see the line, the order, the minimums, all that good stuff. AJ, good to see you. Appreciate you. Jose, just answer that too. But I appreciate you tapping in. Thank you for joining the stream. Okay, let's get into the outro of the song here really quick. MC Charismatic, you're one of the OGs, man. I love and appreciate you so much. I'm so grateful that you're working at your music again, man. That to me means so much. I love that you're creating. That to me is such a powerful outlet. It's a necessary outlet, and your voice should be heard. So that's why I want the emotion, the structure of your vocal to be in place, because your voice is so important. I do want your message to be heard, but I want it to be heard in a way that is palatable by people and that they feel it and they hear it and that it's expressed accurately. And I hope all of this makes sense. You know, it's all from a place of love, of course.
So stay the hell away, I got a story to make.
And I do like this production, but it's a very... I like those lead melodies and stuff are like really pretty too. So I do like the production a lot too. Like it's a good instrumental hook as well. We talk about that all the time, having a vocal hook as well as an instrumental hook. I think that's wildly necessary. Every song that you love has a vocal hook and an instrumental hook. You just might not know it exactly kind of where that might sit. But any song that you like, it's a particular riff, a hook. It's a way the 808 pattern moves. It's a particular drum, an instrumental hook, and a vocal hook. If you have both of those things, you got a superpower. Bought a house, had a kid, taking steps back, and you know, I do love the input. Of course, man. I mean, again, life happens. I mean, trust me, dude. Like I never get to work on my own stuff ever. I never. Okay, sounds good, Jenna. I never get to work on my own stuff for that reason, man. Life happens. I spend 100% of my time working on other people's music, and it is very, very rare that I ever get to do something that's like personally fulfilling in my own music. So any chance that you get, MC, to dig into that and to lean into that creative side on your own, I commend that you do it, man. So all props to you, all love to you, MC Charismatic. I appreciate you a lot. Daniel, hop in the chat. Let me refresh a couple things here. Let me get this cleared. Yeah, if anybody wants to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, just read through and follow all the details. Check the line on the Red app, YT. For those of you who don't know, maybe you're coming in for the first time, I appreciate you tapping in. What we do here at Track Talk are 20 to 30-minute consultations. These are long-form breakdowns. They are detailed analysis of the structure of your mix, production, sound design, lyric, and song structure. All of the details and nuances of your music. This is not a review. There's no trash or pass. There's no ratings, and there are no polls. This is a long-form breakdown. If you're a producer, artist, musician, vocalist, engineer, whatever it may be, this place is for you. Whether you never submit and you're chilling and you're sitting in the chat, I hope that you learn something. I hope you network. I hope you collaborate. That's what this community is all about. So if you do want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, just read through and follow those details. Jaws in a bed. Hey, what's up, Jaws? It's so good to see you. It's been a minute. I hope you're doing fantastic. All right, Daniel, let's get it. Let's get into these next tracks here. Jay, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Memo's in the building. Welcome in, Memo. Yeah, I still see people asking questions. If you would like to submit your music for a consultation, just like we're doing here, we'll spend 30 minutes listening to your track. We will go through your track, usually 2 or 3 different times to really chop into those details. If you would like to do that, just go to my profile, click on the link, and read through and follow all the details. Lake, thank you for the follow. John, thanks for the share. Kira, welcome to the live stream. We got Daniel in the building. Let's get into it. Here's the link to the song. All right, give me all the details. Talk to me about the context. Talk to me about the role that you play in your music. I love it. Fabulous. I love it. That's amazing. I love it. I love it. Talk to me about the role that you play in your music. Did you produce this? Did you mix it? Is it a BeatStars lease? Is it a YouTube MP3? Are you working with a studio? Are you self-engineering? Give me some details. This is, let me see. Let me get Daniel pulled up on Spotify here. I'm a singer for the song. Beautiful. Love it. Love it. Love it. Bradar, thank you for the follow. And I'm sure I'm going to butcher some names here, so please correct me. Please correct me. But this is Daniel Zane, who's right here. The song is called Hanya Ada Aku, I believe. But again, please correct me if I'm wrong. I want to make sure that I get it right. I do want to get it right. This is Daniel Zane. I got no ego in it. I just want to make sure I'm doing the right thing. All right, let's dive in, man. Let's run it from the top. Give me all the details. Yeah, if y'all want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, just read through and follow the details there.
Hening malam datang lagi, takut menyelubung dalam tidur, teringat lagi.
Great low register, man. Come on.
Beri rasa itu.
Please don't spam the chat, y'all. I don't want y'all to get muted. But if you would like to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and just follow the details there. Mikey, thank you for the rose.
Andainya aku mampu mengubah segalanya, takkan ku izinkan kita bersama. Telah ku coba segalanya, meminjam hati orang lain.
Anabang, don't spam the chat.
Yang bukan untuk diri ini, rasa sakit ini masih sama, meski ku harus abaikanmu. Akhirnya aku hanya ada aku. Ku hilang banyak diriku kenamu.
Beautiful voice, Daniel.
Kau tinggalkan, yang ada hanya anak kecil diriku ini, dan ketenangan yang masih ada.
Woo, come on, solo. Daniela, I got you. Thank you for sending that in.
Telah ku coba segalanya, meminjam hati orang lain, yang bukan untuk diri ini. Meski ku harus abaikanmu.
Beautiful voice. Fool on the Hill, welcome in.
Hanya ada aku, luka masih jelas, dan akan tetap sampai mati.
I'm assuming you went to a studio for all this, right? This is great session musicians, good production structure, clean vocal.
Ingin aku pergi darimu. Hanya ada aku.
Come on. Yo, show some love. Yeah. It makes sense. Y'all, please. Arfin, thank you so much for tapping in. Please don't spam the chat, y'all. I got time for like one or two more songs. It's not a long live today. Maybe two more. Maybe two more. Daniela, I got you up on the board. I appreciate you tapping in, but I am going to go ahead and close the lines here after I finish up this consultation. So if you do want to submit, you can go to my profile, click on the link, and read through and follow the details there. I'm going to update some things over here just based on who I have in line. So please just pay attention to the line, which is over on the Red app. YT, you can check Excuse me, you can check the line order and minimum over there. How many Torviks to take over Wisconsin? Probably not that many. Okay, let's get back into this track. Let's dive in. This is Hanya Adaaku. I want to make sure that I get it right. But y'all, please show some love. You're amazing, Daniel Zain. That is the name of the artist. Is Danialzain. You're a monster of a vocalist. A monster of a vocalist, man. A beautiful, beautiful vocal. Great production structure. You're obviously, the studio that you went to is amazing. Great session work. Musicians are fantastic. Come on with the guitar solo. Bring back guitar solos is all I'm trying to say. Let's run this back from the top. Let's get into some details here. Honestly, there's very few things that I heard at all that to me need like polish at all. It's a great structure. Feels very professional. Feels very established. Early on in the song, I feel like here's the way that I'm approaching it. Once you hit like your full vocal capacity and you hit this upper register and this higher transposition that you go to, once you hit that upper register, you're most likely pushing into, I'm assuming, some analog preamps. ZXE, thank you for the follow. Your analog preamps and maybe like one or two other preamps in the box. And that's where you're targeting all of your compression from, like right there. That's where you're getting a lot more energy. When you feed that, everything is smooth and clean and clear. There's a lot more control. So this whole last 2 minutes of a 3.5 minute song is very, very well established and very, very clean. The first minute, there is a pretty dramatically inflated low end presence and boom in the vocal, as well as a slight lack of dynamic control, where that vocal gets like kind of quiet and kind of loud a couple times right there, which is just telling me that you're most likely just not pushing into those compressors early, which is why I would recommend multiple stages of compression and or have that verse vocal on a separate track processed on its own, right? Where that compressor on that track in its own space might be a little bit of a lower threshold, maybe a tighter structure, maybe a little bit softer, so it doesn't feel, too sharp or too punchy, because that's not the style. That way, even on your verses, you have good dynamic control, because right now the control feels pretty loose, where your vocal gets pretty loud and inflated, and then it falls out of the mix a little bit. And then same with the low end presence. Around, 200 hertz, 200 to 300 hertz, there's a little bit of mud, a little bit of boominess right there. I would love to control that, not pull it all out. I don't want your vocal to be thin at all, especially in this genre. That is not what you're going for. I'm working with an amazing contemporary opera artist right now. He's amazing. So I'm working in this genre right now, and it's really, really fun to work in. And it's an interesting balance, though, of trying to make sure that this isn't a thin pop vocal. It's not a really, really bright R&B vocal, but it has weight. It has presence without being boomy. And the low end on your first verse is just a little bit boomy. So if we can address those two things, which we'll dive into, if we can, I believe, I think I got you. Let me double check. Yep, I got you. Queen Diva, thank you so much for the submission. You might close us out today. After this track, I'm gonna close the line. So let me just update a few things here really quick. Okay, and then Daniel, let's get into it. Beautiful. Thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot. Let's get this updated. Fantastic. Da, 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 da. All right. Let's run it back. Japanese house, you seemed happy. I would say I'm pretty happy. Life is life, but I'm pretty happy. All right, let's run it back from the top. Let's dig into it. So we'll just showcase a couple of those details right there, and then we'll get through the rest of the song structure. Beautiful. Yeah, of course. And again, quick reminder, just in case anyone wasn't here earlier, every single one of these live streams are that's the name of the song. I was like, I do say pretty happy. Every single one of these live streams are saved to the Red app, YT. So if you go to that platform after the live stream, this will be like episode 49 or 50, something like that. You can go and the whole entire stream will be saved there. So if you need to go back and reference notes or screen record something, or you want to clip something, all of that is posted there. So you don't even have to necessarily worry about like, oh, did I miss anything? Did my Wi-Fi go out? Do I got to leave really quick? It's all going to be saved for you every single time. And you can always find that. It's the same place that you can see the line and all of the stuff. It's at my platform, or at my profile at the link. Okay, let's get into it. I'm going to close the line after this track, y'all. fact, I'm gonna close it. I'm gonna close it now, and we'll close out with those last two.
Hening malam datang lagi, takut menyelubung dalam tidur.
I'm gonna back it up here just a little bit. Let me just get this updated.
Ingat lagi,
All right, lines closed for tonight, y'all. We'll open it back up tomorrow.
beri rasa itu.
All right.
Tak hening malam datang lagi.
I mean, you have a beautiful low register to your vocal, man. Beautiful low register. It has so much presence to it.
Takut menyelubung dalam tidur. Teringat lagi, beri rasa itu.
And I think also too, so this is a C sharp major. You got a lower voice than I do. One over, oh, don't do that, Jesus. It's like the piano track that you have here and I like it. I think it's all beautiful. Everything that's going on here, like practically speaking, beautiful. Love it. Keep it all exactly where it is. And obviously this is released, so we're not even talking about that. It all is like really, really beautiful. It's, very simple, but I think because of the register, the actual like octave of the piano where the acoustic guitar is sitting, they're very like bright and open and airy, and there's not a lot of weight to it because we're not down here, right? We're not in a really low octave. It's a little bit more, it's a little bit lighter. So if your vocal's really, really weighty, it's got a lot of body to it, it kind of just takes over, in my opinion, right? I think you can get away with a slightly less heavy vocal in this early structure here. And again, you can open everything up when there's more competition. Like when you get to the hook, you get to, where all of the presence is, you can open up the vocal structure a little bit more. It can compete with a little bit more power in a more dynamic production. Early on here, there's nothing to compete with, right? It's like a really simple acoustic guitar, beautifully tracked, a really beautiful piano. I love everything about this. But that vocal's hefty. It sounds beautiful. Your register is great. The overall balance of everything, I think, is beautiful. It's just a little weighty for how little is going on. And this is where I think automation can come in as well. Like I like to do really subtle automation curves on EQ as well, whether it's the way that I'm passing or brightening something, or like low cutting or brightening something. You could even automate that frequency right there to be a little bit, just 2 dB, a dB and a half thinner between 100 and 300 hertz, and then bring it back into play going into the hook once everything else comes in, right? You can do like really simple curves like that to just like keep everything kind of, moving along without it feeling too boomy. Let's keep it going. I'm going to try to move at a good pace. Hey, I love it. Beautiful layers. Positioning is perfect. Harmonies are gorgeous. Like, come on. I have no dog in the fight, Eric. I'm not super locked in, but we're gonna go with Arsenal just to rile someone up potentially. Because my brother-in-law likes Arsenal, so we're going Arsenal. What's up, John? Welcome in. One of your biggest, Lavid, is it Lavid AN? Am I saying that correctly? Yeah, sorry, I'm jumping around like 3 different chats right now on 3 different platforms. So I'm already ADHD. This doesn't help being live on all these different platforms. I'm like, oh yeah, Arsenal over here, this over here, music over here, question over here. Anyways, is there an easy way to process voice professionally? I use BandLab and the sound is shit. Okay. You can get a good quality vocal out of BandLab. It is possible. The thing that you're running into is plugin parameter limitations as well as routing limitations. Those are the 2 like main limitations and kind of like roadblocks that you're going to run into on BandLab. The ability to like route and position and send things to other things and have auxes that feed some of your other processing, that's going to be a challenge for you. And on the other side is going to be the parameters of the plugins there. Just as an example, there is a graphic EQ, graphic EQ on BandLab, right? The limitation of the graphic EQ is that it only goes up to 6,300 hertz or 6,400 hertz. So if you want to brighten a vocal that feels really dark, you're brightening that vocal at a spot where like most of your sibilance lies, right? So every time you hear a band lab mix from most people, you'll hear this like bright, shrill vocal that's over de-essed because you have to do both, right? So those are the limitations that you're gonna run into on BandLab, right? I would recommend that you get into a full DAW for free. Especially if you're in BandLab and you're recording, if you're on BandLab and you're recording with, what's up, Alan? Welcome in. If you're on BandLab and you're recording over 2 tracks, there's no reason you shouldn't get, Reaper. There's no reason you shouldn't get GarageBand. There's no reason that you shouldn't get, Ableton for free. Ableton, you can get up to like 8 tracks audio, 16 tracks MIDI for free. And that's Ableton. This is a full DAW where you can do all the stuff, right? Get some great stock plugins, get some great stock EQ and compressors and de-essers and stuff like that, and get into a DAW for free. So like, I would just recommend to like, if you're running into limitations, remove the limitations. You know what I mean? Like that's the way that I think about it. There's no reason that anyone should be limited by their DAW. You can get DAWs for free. Pro Tools has a $10 subscription as well. So you could get Pro Tools up to 32 tracks for $10. If you want to get into your DAW, if you want to get into some energy and start processing well, get Pro Tools for $10 a month. I mean, the one that I use is like, I don't know, $40 a month or something like that. But get Pro Tools for $10 a month and you have everything. Bunch of stock plugins, a bunch of great instruments. You can do everything that you need. But let me preface this as well, because like nothing beats you just understanding the tools though. So yes, get into a DAW, I mean, I think that'll be helpful. It will remove those limitations that BandLab has in routing and plugin parameters that are really important. Even just having an output knob to your EQ for proper gain staging, all those stuff that you have limitations on. Remove those limitations, step 1, and then understand the process. You don't need to buy anything. You don't need to buy FabFilter. You don't need to get UAD plugins. Understand EQ compression, positioning, gain staging, all of that stuff. Get the foundations really, really strong, and you can make great music on any DAW. Any DAW. There's no limitations to that. A good producer, a good engineer can do it on any DAW. With the issue for a long time, so yeah, of course, man. Anytime, man. I appreciate you tapping in. Thanks for hopping into the live stream and asking the question. Yeah, I'm not anti. Like some people have such an ego about BandLab. I'm not anti BandLab. I'm not like here like shilling for Pro Tools. I'm not sponsored by anyone or anything, right? Like I just know the limitations are real, and I think if we're honest about the limitations, then we can adapt, right? You either have to be like, okay, I'm stuck in BandLab, so here's what I have to do, or you make some other choices. And nowadays there's free options. Like I think there's free options for a couple different DAWs, right? $10 a month for Pro Tools. There's a free limited version of Ableton. I think there's a free limited version of Studio One as well. I'm pretty sure. Logic is $200 one time, and then you're done forever for life. Unlimited updates and stuff like that. So like there's options. There's options, but remove the limitations and then execute at scale. Learn the foundations before you buy a single plugin. Before you ever buy a single plugin, get the foundations right. Mr. Trouble, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. I tried learning FL Studio, but I can't figure it out. Yeah, FL Studio is not my favorite. It's not my favorite interface. I have it. I have FL Studio. I don't use it really anymore, but I do have FL Studio. Okay, Daniel, let me know if you have a little bit more time. I do want to get a little bit deeper into the song here. Let me know. If you don't have any more time, of course, I can move on. I appreciate you so much. As Josue, am I saying that correctly? Thank you so much for tapping in. Okay, let me get back into this. I'm sorry I jump around a little bit. DKN, thank you for the follow. Lavid, thank you for the follow. Okay. The lines are closed, y'all. We're closed for today. Only have time for 2 more songs after this. Ace, thank you for the follow. I've got time for 2 more songs after this that are already in the line ready to go. But we're going to be live again tomorrow afternoon, so definitely make sure that y'all are following. MSP, thank you for the mini star. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for the love. I appreciate that a lot. We'll open up the lines again tomorrow, so definitely make sure that you're following either here, Red App or Purple App, and we'll be live tomorrow afternoon. Beautiful voice, man. Okay, here. Okay, so listen right here. Like you'll hear this kind of in and out. You'll hear this like push and pull in the vocal in the mix right there. That's where I want a little bit more dynamic control. Thank you for the donut. I appreciate it. I want a little bit more dynamic control through compression to help tighten up some of the structure right here so that your vocal doesn't cut in and out of the mix, especially as you bring in additional production processes, right? Like as soon as you start to bring in live drums and a bass and 4 different strings, you know, a quartet and maybe some brass and a synth and a pad and a double tracked acoustic guitar. As soon as all these elements come in, your vocal needs to be able to compete in the mix, either through its layers. Your layers are beautiful in this instance, but also just in the way that it's processed. So I would recommend, I don't know how, obviously I wasn't in the session. I don't know how your vocal was tracked. I'm assuming just based on what I'm hearing that there's probably a compressor going in, kind of sounds like it. You're getting a lot of really, you know, nice like analog warmth going in, it sounds like. So, you know, maybe not, but it sounds like there's some good outboard processing going on here. On the flip side, I would have another couple compressors. The reason why is that you have multiple stages to help you control dynamic range, right? So like in my case, I have 3. I have an analog compressor, an analog tube compressor going in. So in going in analog, I have an analog tube compressor that's just grabbing the vocal really quick. Just anything that jumps through the mix, it just controls it a little bit. And then in the box, I have 2 more. I have in this case, I have a 76 and a 2-way. What that allows for is I can talk really quiet, right? Thank you for the heart guitar, MSP. Thank you for the heart guitar. I appreciate it. I can talk really quiet. I can just kind of like vocal fry whisper like this. And I can also yell, right? Like I can talk really quiet or I can yell. And you're not going to like, you'll experience a change in energy. I'm not moving in and out of the mic. Like I just stayed right here. You'll hear a change in energy in my expression, but amplitude wise, it's like really consistent. Like when I talk quiet with like a vocal fry or I whisper a little bit more, it still sounds like kind of full and meaty. But if I also go really, really loud, then it helps control that and tamp it down. This is what I'm kind of looking for in your song structure, right? It's so that when you sing loud, it controls, right? I love it, and that's beautiful. And that's why you just need tools to help with it, right? You just need tools to help with it. And that's where the compression or separate tracks, are going to help you with, right? So that when you're singing a little bit quieter, oh do 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 do, and we go oh, and you sing louder, a little bit more of a belt, a higher chest voice. That it balances all of that out, right? You're not hearing my vocal shoot through the mix with a bunch of boom, right? It's all feels good from the lower register to the higher register, feels really smooth. That's what I want to hear out of your vocal. So those 2 things right there to me are going to make a world of difference, although it already sounds really damn good. It sounds really, really nice. Y'all show some love to Daniel. MSP, we are closed for today. We're going to be live again tomorrow though, MSP. So definitely tap in. I would love to get your submission up on the board. I would absolutely love to get a submission up on the board from you. MSP, thank you for the money cut. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the love. Absolutely, Daniel. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate you tapping in today. MSP, thank you. Now we're closed, man. I already have 2 more tracks on here. So even if I did get you on the board, you would probably be like 8th down on the list, unfortunately. And I only have time for 2. I've got to head out after these next 2 tracks here really quickly. I gotta eat dinner. I gotta finish up some projects later tonight, and I gotta do this kind of in between my work. But I will be live again tomorrow. So definitely tap in. Make sure that you're following. We'll open up the lines tomorrow afternoon and get a whole fresh batch of artists, producers for consultations up on the board. Okay, let's get in. Let's see, Daniela, hop in the chat. Let me know that you're here. I'm going to try to move at a better pace. Hey, sounds good, man. I appreciate you so much. Daniel, I appreciate you a lot. Thank you for tapping in today. Let's see. And welcome to the family as well, man. I appreciate you a lot. Let's see. Daniela, did I get your email? Is a lot going to spam? No, it's not in spam. Let me know if you sent in the email. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate you. And your name seems familiar. Have I heard your music before? Did you send an email, Daniela? Why am I not seeing it? What's up, MP? Welcome in. Last 2 tracks, y'all. Last 2 tracks. I'm gonna try to move fast. I got stuff I gotta do. Welcome in, MP. Thank you so much for joining in. DJ, welcome in. Thank you so much for tapping into the stream, and thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. I'm not seeing an email or spam. NP, tap in tomorrow. We're going to open up the lines again tomorrow. We'll take a big batch of new artists tomorrow. Artists, producers, engineers. we'll do a fresh batch of consultations tomorrow. But we got 2 more tracks. These are our last 2. Daniela, yeah, I'm not. Unless it's, oh, there it is. Just got it. It just came in. Yeah. These are our last 2. These are our last. That's bright. These are our last 2 tracks, and then we'll open it up again tomorrow. Just got the email in, Daniela. You're ready to go. All right. All right. Hey, we are Paraíso Fractal, a band from Colombia. Let's go. Shout out to Colombia. And we're excited to share our upcoming release with you. This song is part of our next project, and before officially launching it, we would truly value your professional feedback. I love that. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for taking the time to listen and for creating this space for artists to grow. All love, all love, all love. I appreciate that a lot. Looking forward to your feedback. Let's dive in. I'm excited. I'm excited. Oh, please don't even worry about it. Mine is probably worse, to be honest with you. Okay, let's dive in. Let me get this downloaded real quick. I love it. I'm so glad you're here, Daniela. Thank you so much for tapping in. I appreciate you being here. Let's get this downloaded. Brent, thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Yeah, give me a couple details as far as your role or the band's role in like building out the production. Did y'all go to a studio? Did y'all do it all at home? You talk to me a little bit about that kind of a part of it as well. Matt VO, welcome in. Okay, let's dive in. This is you're the singer. Beautiful. Let me get this downloaded and let's get it rolling. Adley, thank you for joining. Adley, join tomorrow. Make sure that you're following. Join the live stream tomorrow. We'll open up the line again. We don't do ratings. We do really long form consultations. So we do consultations for artists, producers, musicians, vocalists, songwriters, engineers. We spend about 30 minutes breaking down the track, going through the track 2 to 3 different times to really dive into the details. So if that's what you're looking for, if that would be valuable for you, that is the structure of Track Talk. I would love to listen to your song tomorrow. But we're closed for today. Last 2 songs. Okay, beautiful. Love it. Hold up. Let's back it up. This is beautiful. I want to hear that intro again. I hear the B3 in the background. I hear the Hammond in the background. Okay. The song was recorded in our home studio, mixed and mastered by someone else. This is gorgeous. Come on.
Jugando a lo prohibido, tanto tiempo que nos dimos, las ventas que nos pusimos, aparentemente no fue suficiente, no conté con suerte.
Great voice. Come on.
No puedo negar al verte mis sentidos.
Tomorrow, Adley. I can listen to it tomorrow. So just make sure that you're following. We can open up the lines again tomorrow.
No conté con suerte, me tocó perderte. Fue clara al decir que no te enamorarás de mí.
Beautiful. Demas, welcome in.
Ahora sé que tonta fui, y todo por miedo,
Beautiful.
por miedo a
Beautiful.
sufrir.
Love that
Pero
organ.
la vida es así. Ahora sé que tonta fui, las dueñas del juego, y sin embargo lo perdí.
Yeah, with the sax solo. Come on, give me the sax solo. Let's go. I want to teach myself sax. I want that to be my next instrument. I'm just trying to find one.
Un par de idiotas fuimos.
Love the dynamics here. Come on. I need to get you in touch with Senko.
Fingiendo ser amigos. Fui clara al decir que no te enamorarás
Amazing, amazing voice. So good. So good, so good. Jarvis, welcome in.
Pero la vida es así. Ahora sé que tonta fui, la dueña del juego y sin embargo lo perdí.
Mark, welcome in.
Lo perdí.
Great musicianship, awesome vocals.
Pero la vida es así. Ahora sé que tonta fui. Todo por miedo a sufrir. Que te duele a mí, que ya no estás aquí, porque no pude. Que me enamore de ti.
Come on. Come on, come on. Y'all show some love. Show some love to Daniela right here in the chat. Beautiful, 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 beautiful job. This is amazing. Just from a musicianship standpoint, writing and structural standpoint, vocal standpoint, gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. I love everything that's there. Beautiful sweeps on the organ, light, airy pads, you know, wall, snappy, punchy guitars, great vocal production. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. There's so much to hear to love. I want to talk about some mixing things, a couple mixing details in here because this is so good. And so my goal approaching this and talking about the like audio engineering on this is just to remove any distractions from people experiencing how phenomenal this is, right? It's a great song. It's a great record. Incredible just life and dynamics. I love it. I love so much about this. So let's run it from the top. Let's dig into some details. We'll chop through a few things. I will get pretty technical with the mixing stuff because that's what it needs. It doesn't need like a better performance. Performance is great. It doesn't need like better energy, bro. Like it's good. The structure is absolutely amazing. So I'm going to get fairly technical with, I think, what could happen as far as like helping to facilitate a better mix on this. Just a quick reminder that it is saved. If you need to go back and reference the YT, the Red app video, you can. The whole VOD will be saved there. That way, just in case there's something you feel like you're missing, we can make sure that it's all right there. Let's run it from the. Excuse me. These allergies are beating me up. All right, let's run it from the top. Let's get into some details here. But this is Daniela right in the right here in the chat. I love it. Cersei, thank you for tapping in. Closed for today. Line is closed for today, but we're going to be live again tomorrow. So just make sure that you're following. We'll open up everything so you can get your music on the line. Sorry, I can't talk right now. My brain is like, it's left me. All the information has left me.
Un par de idiotas fuimos.
Beautiful.
Jugando a lo
Love the swing of the acoustic too, because this is it's in 6/8, right? So you get this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, boom. It's like a really nice kind of like sped waltz, right? Where you get this beautiful 6/8 structure, and then the acoustic like comes in on the 4/4, I think. So you get these like eighth notes over the 6/8 on the acoustic guitar, which gives it this really nice little swing, this nice texture in the background. It's really interesting. It kind of syncopates it naturally. It's really nice. I love it. Okay, largely two things that I want to focus on for this mix, and we'll chop through some different moments in the song. Drums and vocals. Drums and vocals, and then how all of that works together in the mix. And everything kind of feeds off of each other. They're all experiencing the same mix, and so we just have to make sure they all fit, right? Percussion and vocals. Step one, and there's different ways to kind of mitigate this and change some of this, but step one is I would love a little more of the drums. What they're doing is fantastic. Nice little swing on the hats. Sounds beautiful. Quick little triplets on there. Everything sounds awesome. Sounds fantastic. I would love a little bit more, especially because I'm gonna actually skip to the end now for just a moment. When you get to the end here and you're doing some of the stabs, like these dun 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 dun, like these big accents in the song structure, when that's happening, actually the drums fall way out of the mix. So you hear like organ, piano, acoustic guitars, and like maybe like a synth in the background. You get these really big, energetic accents, and I don't really hear much of the drums in the background there. I would love the drums, at the very least, like kick and snare, if you wanted to start there. Very lightly, kick and snare, I think could go forward like 2 dB, maybe 3 dB. Just a little bit more energy to drive the song, because the filler is beautiful. I mean, it's wide, it's ethereal, it feels incredibly energetic and vibrant, but then the driving force being like kick and snare, kick and cross stick on the verses feels a little bit light in my opinion. So it struggles sometimes to reach its like full dynamic potential because it doesn't quite grow where you want it to go. The vocals will be a part of that. So we'll talk about that in a second. I'm going to skip to the end really quick to kind of show what I'm talking about. Like here, I just kind of hear a kind of a, I'll say blob. Blob is not what I mean. A blob of noise in the middle. Just a big circle of information coming at us from the middle. So I hear all of these guitars and vocals and organs and pianos and guitars all kind of hitting me right here. And then every once in a while I hear a kind of, stuck through the mix, but it feels a little bit back. So there's two things that we need to do. One is bring forward those drums just a little bit. I wouldn't even mind if it's all kind of being disguised by all the other instrumentation. When everything comes into play, those drums take a huge backseat, right? They kind of dive in the mix a little bit. So a couple things that we can do, to kind of help mitigate that. One would be to clarify some of those other elements, right? Make sure they're not competing with each other too much. Make sure maybe you've carved a little bit of space in the guitars. Maybe the low end of the organ can get pulled out so that the bass fits a little bit cleaner, so on and so on. And then get those drums maybe a little bit brighter. The easiest way you could do this is very simply is on the drum bus. Just keep it really easy. On the drum bus, have an EQ. I'm sure there already is. On the EQ, and just lift it at like 6K, 5K or something like that. Nice little easy high shelf, another like 2 dB, 3 dB, just to open up the top slightly, give it a little bit of breath so it opens up a bit more. And then in tandem, just push all of the drums on that same box, just push it forward like 2 dB. That'll give you a little bit more life. That in tandem with clarifying some of those other elements right there, I do think will help give the production side a little bit more life. Now let's talk vocals, because you're going to hear the same thing happen on the vocals, right? So if we go here and we listen to like how your vocal sounds here in the intro. Pretty good clarity because it's not competing with as much. As soon as it's competing with a lot, here. Half of those phrases in the background, half the phrasing in the background, same thing, kind of gets masked. All of this energy comes in, guitars, organs, pianos, all this stuff comes in, and then you lose clarity, right? Everything sounds cool and vibrant and energetic, but you lose separation between the different elements. You can hear how it just kind of becomes, like I said, like a blob of mids, right? It's all just a bunch of energy right there in the middle of the mix. But where's the guitar? Where's the organ? Where's the synth? Where's the interesting piano part that's happening in the background? It just becomes a column of noise in the middle of the mix. And I still want to get that separation. I still want to focus on like panning. I want to make sure that some things are on the left, on the right, something at 40%, something at 30%, one that's double tracked, and they're all super wide. Like I want things hitting from all directions so it feels really separated, distinct, and really, really vibrant. For that vocal, same thing we were talking about with Daniel, or we got Daniela, Daniel before, is his vocal compression. It does sound like there's two things that I would love to hear happen on your vocal mix. I know we're getting into a lot of detail, but I hope it's helpful. Two things that I want to hear happen on your vocal. One is compression control. Again, your vocal dives in the mix. I'm assuming, and this happens for so many artists, especially in the genre, you're probably singing a little bit closer to the microphone in your early verses. So in your early verses, you have a little bit more proximity effect, right? You're closer to the microphone, lower vocal register, lower vocal range. And you're also getting more of that proximity, which makes the vocal deeper, right? It makes it a little bit boomier, a little bit more low end. And then when you get into these high registers at the end, da, 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 you're probably singing higher. You lose a little bit of that low end and backing off the microphone a little bit. Da, 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 da. You're trying to reach for some higher notes, a little bit higher, like mixed voice. And then you back off the mic a little bit. So then what happens is you lose proximity effect and volume. If you don't have compressors controlling that dynamic range and controlling that amplitude, right, so that it stays right there in the middle of the mix, if you back off that mic, you're going to lose 3-4 dB of vocal presence, as well as losing some of that proximity effect that is giving you some low end presence, right? So your vocal gets quieter by 3 dB and it also gets thinner, right? So two things in tandem. We need control through compressors because you're going to move, right? It's going to happen, right? Like that's why I talk about like compressors on here. Like I can move in and out of this vocal a little bit, even like direct on. I can move, you know, between 4 inches away and 6, 7 inches away, 8 inches away, and you're not hearing like a dramatic difference in amplitude, right? Because I have 3 stages just kissing in compression. One of them is doing a little bit more, but the 1176 is doing some heavy lifting in the DAW, and this is just like a voiceover channel. But my outboard is doing like 3 dB, 2 dB of reduction. The 2A in here is doing like 3 dB, of reduction, nothing too crazy. But all of that control allows me, again, I can back in and out of the microphone here, so I can get closer, I can get farther, I can talk really quiet, I can talk really loud, and you're not hearing a crazy change in any of that. It's like fairly consistent, maybe a little change, but fairly consistent. That's what I want to look for, so that when you da-da-da-da-da and you back off, it sounds just as forward. In fact, it feels like you're leaning into those notes as opposed to like being timid on them, right? That you're not backing away from them, and the compression will help force it forward. It'll help keep those moments where you're backing off a little bit, and it'll push them forward in the mix and make sure that your vocal always stays right at the top. Second thing, and honestly, kind of last thing, that way your vocal doesn't dive back. When you sing quiet, it'll be crisp and forward. And then when you sing loud, it'll be controlled. It'll stick around the top. Last two details, one on the vocal, one on the mix. Last two details. The other is de-essing. You do have a de-esser on your vocal, perfectly fine. I have, a de-esser on my vocal too. If you over de-ess, it is going to give you more of a lisp in the processing, right? Because you're controlling sibilants, you're controlling, resonance in the like S's, T's, C's, K's, stuff like that. So if you over de-ess, it's going to take all of the life out of your phrasing. You'll hear early on here a couple times.
Nos hicimos las ventas que no.
You hear how all of the life in the S's kind of gets stripped out of it. So you've lost any of like the natural phrasing. Now, if your S's and T's, I have a couple other mics that are really bright, like my TLM 102 is super, super bright. I don't really use it anymore for that reason. It's horrible with sibilants, right? So those S's are always super harsh. So you got to de-ess it, a couple times sometimes. If you find yourself de-essing really heavy, for one, there's technique. You can change angle, change, kind of the way, like you can see how my microphone is angled. That can help as well. I typically have the microphone angled a little bit, recording off axis slightly. Obviously utilizing a pop filter is going to help as well. And then de-essing, right? So on your de-esser, it's really low right now. The threshold is really low, so it's taking all of that energy out. But it's also affecting the high end of your vocal. It's a single band compressor, largely, or a tight band compressor, a de-esser is. So it's taking a really tight band of frequencies, let's say at 5,000 hertz, and it's compressing it, in this case by like 30 dB. It's lowering it quite a bit. That way it controls that tight band that affects those S's, those T's, where a lot of your sibilants lies. If you go too far, it gives you a lisp. If it's not there at all, it's going to sound harsh, right? Those S's slice through the mix. You just need to raise that threshold. It's just a little bit too low. It's robbing you of some high-end energy. It's also giving it a little bit more of a lisp, and it's also changing some of your phrasing because all of your S's are just completely suppressed. Last detail, and then we're going to move on to the last track really quickly. Queen Diva, let me know if you're still in the chat. Is it Izaza? Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you. Last detail. This is the last thing that I'll say. I would recommend. And again, these aren't rules. These are just stylistic choices, right? But also will help with clarity. I would recommend, of course, anytime. I would recommend creating a little bit more space for that vocal to live. Right now, again, you hear that vocal gets a little bit, no, there's a couple things, the compression will help. A couple things that just kind of overwhelm the vocal in these final mixes, right? You get towards the end of the song here. All of this energy, you have a bunch of information hitting you right here, right? Like right in the, here's your vocal in mono, your vocals in mono right here in the middle of the mix. And you have all of this stuff right here, right? You have all these instruments right in the same lane of that lead vocal. You want to create some space for that vocal to live. What I would recommend doing, if you want to do this the easiest way possible without having to think about anything too crazy, on an instrument bus, you have a bus where you send all of your instruments, right? Just take everything, your drums, your acoustic guitars, your electric guitars, your piano, your organ, all of that, your synths, send it over, maybe not drums if you don't want to touch drums, but at least all of your like instrumentation, right? Maybe outside of percussion, send it to this bus. On that bus, create a notch, a really, really like tight notch between like 600 and 1200 hertz. That's where most of the fundamental frequencies of the vocal live, most of them, right? There's some brightness over the top. There's a little bit of low end presence underneath that, but most of the fundamental of the vocal lives in that mid, right? Between 600 and 1200 hertz. On that instrument bus, carve a little bit of space. Now, I typically do this with mid side. So you don't have to do all that. If you want to, you can. A mid side would just mean that I will pull that information only out of the middle channel, let the vocal live in that space, and reintroduce that mid frequency into the stereo image on the outside, on the side image on the outside, not the middle channel. So you can do that. That would be the next step of that, to go a little bit deeper. But if you don't want to do that, you can go very, very simple and just have a bell curve and an EQ on that bus between 600 and 1200 hertz. Pull it down like 3 dB, 2.5, 3 dB, nothing too crazy at all. And that will just carve a little bit of a pocket in the instrumentation. So we're reducing energy in the instrumentation where the vocal sits. And then that vocal sits a little bit forward. If you do all of that in tandem, clarify the drums, separation in your instrumentation, control for the vocal, a little bit more high-end energy when you de-ess properly, and carve space. Now this mix sounds like vibrant, energetic, wide, and like your vocals punchy. It slices over the top of the mix. It feels less suppressed and less muddy. I think if you do all that, you're going to be absolutely, absolutely golden. Y'all show some love. Daniela, Yusty, right here in the chat. Appreciate you so much. You're amazing. I mean, I keep saying it, but I got to say it again. Y'all are so talented. Of course, absolutely anytime. So talented. Your vocal, the instrumentation, musicianship, structure, gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. You should be so proud of the work that you're putting in. I think if you can focus on mix or even just like based on what you're doing, maybe send it to an engineer that works in this genre that can give you a little bit more clarity. But man, what y'all are doing is beautifully, beautifully done. Show some love to Daniela, y'all. Let's get into this last track. I got to move pretty quick. Let's close it up right here. I'm going to try to move at a good pace. We've got Queen Diva in the building. I've got you right here. I know it needs work, but would love your input. The beat is a YouTube instrumental. I am singing and rapping. I mixed my vocals. Fantastic. Queen Diva, if there's any other details you want me to know or the chat to know, drop it in the chat. Is this my first time hearing you, or have I heard your music before? The name sounds super familiar, but my brain might be making that up. Either way, thank you for joining the stream. I'm so glad you're here. Let's get into it, y'all. Final track of the day, and then we'll be live again tomorrow. First time, Queen Diva. Thank you for joining. This is Love You I Do by Queen Diva. Let's get it downloaded and let's get it playing. Thank you, Wi-Fi, for working. Let's go.
I put so much.
And talk to me about what you're recording on. I know you're mixing yourself. Like what kind of mic, DAW, stuff like that.
It's misery. I loved you with everything in me, but then you go do me wrong. Well, guess what? Now I'm gone.
I give you everything. I give you all of me. But now I see.
Let's go, Andrew. I'll be on tomorrow. Tomorrow and Friday probably.
You did me wrong. You broke my heart.
Hey.
Now I'm over here just for
Is it the 770? I used to have one. Like, I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago. MXL 770.
because your mask is gone. I see black and white because your color shows.
Nice, nice. I know exactly how it sounds.
Now I know I never should have fell in love with you. I love you, I do. It's a word you use to keep me from staying with you. I need you, don't leave me, please stay. It's a word you're gonna use when I go by your way. I love you, I do. It's a word you use to
Let's go, Diva.
me so bad, oh, just admit it.
Tons of potential.
You never loved me like that. I'm wishing that
Cool voice. Love that rasp at the top register too. Really cool. There's some parts of this that remind me of like early 2000s, early 2010s R&B.
So emotional, and right now it seems like I can't control all these feelings that
Okay.
I'm feeling within. My head's spinning around just like a whirlwind. I'm thinking about everything you put me through, in all of the games that you said you wouldn't do, and I'm realizing that
I like the way that you're emoting on the rap part here too. It actually feels like it has like a good energy to it.
Now I'm sitting here like, whoa, and every time I think about it, man, I wanna lose control. I wanna black out, wanna go kinda crazy, cause I can't believe that I called you my baby. I love you, I love you, I love you. It's a word you use to keep me from staying with you. I love it, I need it to stay.
That's catchy. I mean, it's already stuck in my head.
I love you, I love you, I do. It's a word you use to keep me from staying with you. I need you to baby, please stay. It's a word you're gonna use when I go my way. I love you, I do.
Cool. Awesome. Y'all show some love. That's Queen Diva right here in the chat. Y'all please show some love and support. Make sure that y'all are follow every artist that is vulnerable enough to get on the stage. Show them some love and support. Let's get straight into it. This is Love You, I Do by Queen Diva. Let's run it from the top. Okay, so here's what I want to focus on. And hopefully my goal is I don't want to overwhelm you with info that is like too far down the road. I want to make sure that I give you like really, really solid, actionable things to work on. Okay. So, because it's really easy to be like, oh, you should parallel this and whatever. We don't have to do all that. I want you to focus on the foundational elements of here. Because this is a very dry, you have a good voice and good writing. It's a catchy hook. I mean, it's already stuck in my head. I want to give you like the foundational things to focus on. And then I want you to focus on those foundational things at scale. Right? Because it's really easy to like dive into the DAW, get a beat, start doing your vocal, and we're throwing ping pong delays and crazy, all kinds of processing and stuff on there before it's even like compressed, EQ'd, and like positioned in a way that's like really palatable by the listener. So I want to get like the foundation rock solid. That your dry vocal with like no reverb, no delay, no tuning. I want your dry vocal to be like pristine. Let's get that locked in. Once you have that locked in, you can light up everything else, and that's pretty easy. Learning how to balance, reverbs and delays, and how to tune a vocal, that stuff's fairly easy. I want to get the foundation down. So let's run it from the top. Let's dive into a couple details here, because what you're running into, I think, is just a fairly dry vocal, right? We just need a bit of control. Nothing too crazy, nothing over polished, but just a bit of control, and I think you'll be in a great spot. All right, let's get into it. Let's run it from the top.
I put so much into you and me, but all I've been feeling is misery. I loved you with everything in me, but then you go do me
Oh,
wrong.
beautiful. I love it. I love
Guess
it.
what?
I'm so glad that you're back doing it. I love that. You could always read. I mean, I would recommend that you retrack. Like, if you have a little bit more experience now, or even just life experience now. Like, to be honest with you, like some of it is, excuse me, some of it's like production experience, like doing that at scale. The other side is just life experience. Like sometimes you just spend 4 years living and you just have a better approach, a better outlook on things. Your perspective on even like how to like take in the information to mix and stuff like that is different. So if it's been a couple years or it's been a little while, a couple months even, I'm not against you revisiting it and updating a couple ways that you phrase things and structure and stuff like that.
Now I'm gone.
I give you everything. I give you all of me. But now I see this is a travesty.
I mean, look, there's some good lines in here. Like I like, that's a D sharp minor. I also like this progression. It's a little like, it's kind of dark and eerie. Like I like this chromatic walk down. I like it. It's interesting. It makes it kind of eerie and dissonant and tight, and I like that. Okay, let's keep it going. Vino, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. But you have some really good melodies here.
But now I see this is a trap. You broke my heart, and now I'm over here just falling all apart.
I do think that like there's some lines in here lyrically. I'm not going to spend too much time on lyrics, but there's some lines in here lyrically that I think have some like filler phrasing and filler syllable counts in there that you could mature. Excuse me. You can mature some of those lyrics. Like even like in here, and now I'm falling all apart. I feel like there's a way that we can like flip and phrase that to where it feels like there's more density of information in those phrases instead of having to put all apart. Because otherwise you would like typically say I'm falling apart. But falling all apart is a filler for the all to match syllables, right? Like, and this happens all the time in songwriting, right? It's what we, in songwriting, would call it like fat in the lyric structure and like cutting the fat in lyric structure. So when there's like filler, cutting out filler and replacing it and rewording so that your syllable counts are accurate and they're consistent, while at the same time making sense, right? So I think there's some ways you could probably go back into some moments of this lyric structure. Again, good voice, good structure, but I think there's ways we can go back into this lyric structure and mature the lyrics a little bit to where you're not filling, but every lyric and every part of your structure is pointed, it's intentional, it's exactly what you want to say without any like, I want to say I'm falling apart, but I can't think of the other word, so I'm just going to say all, right? Which is just, it's just a filler to have a more consistent syllable count. So a couple little parts like that in the song that I would just rework. And again, how exactly you do that is up to you, but it definitely will make it feel more amateur if there's too many fillers or like spread sentences that feel like they're not like intentional and pointed. So a couple little things in there. I do this all the time. You have to do it all the time. Like as a songwriter, it's just something it's a muscle you gotta flex all the time. So you're 100% not alone in that. Lady Shady, I've been telling all my friends about you because you're awesome. Lady Shady, thank you. I appreciate that. That's a lot of love. Thank you for the heartbeat as well. I appreciate that a lot. Okay, let's get a little deeper into the song here.
I love you, I do. The words you use to keep me safe, the words you're gonna use.
I love this hook. It needs some work. It needs some polish, of course. But I really do. It's a great hook. It's very catchy. And again, it reminds me of like late 90s or the early 2000s R&B and stuff. It's got a cool feel.
I love you, I do.
I mean, that whole, I love you, that phrasing, chef's kiss. Beautiful. Lock it in.
Words you use to keep me safe.
And we're going back into it. The da 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 da. Beautiful. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Come on, that's a great melody. Lock that in. That is such a good melody. Like that's so good. We can polish structure, we can polish mix, of course, but that's a superpower. That's a great hook right there. But you can hear, listen, what I want you to listen for is this dynamic range, right? So listen for this first vocal, how loud it is, right here.
I love you, I do.
Immediately gets quiet, but it starts out, I love you, do, do. And then you go here. First one's here, I love you, do, do. The second one's, it's way back here, right? A really dramatic. What's up, Rice 2? Appreciate you tapping in. Or is it? Oh, Rico. I can't read from this far. I was like, Rice 2? I don't know. Rico, thanks for tapping in. Good to see you. It's breath control, proximity to the microphone. Breath control, proximity to the microphone, as well as dynamic control, as well as, understanding compressors and stuff like that. So you're getting, what you're hearing here is breath control. So you start really loud and then you lose a little bit of breath and it gets quieter, as well as you changing proximity. So it gets farther away, as well as there being no compressors. So your dynamic range is really broad. So your vocal starts really loud and it gets farther, quieter, thinner, and more untouched by compression. So then your every single hook starts super loud and gets quieter and quieter and quieter as you go, right? Okay, let me skip a little bit farther and then I'll give you the like 4 main things, but 5 things, 4 main things that I want you to focus on. These will be the foundation of everything that you do in your mix. Learn these 4 things, perfect these 4 things with stock plugins. You don't need anything else. Learn them with stock plugins, understand the language behind them. If you learn these 4 things, you will, and not just what they are and what they're called, but how to utilize them and control them to manipulate your voice. If we learn these 4 things. So I'm going to skip forward here a little bit. I want to get to this outro. But I really do like your voice, and I think that hook is absolutely gold. You should be so proud of that.
When I go my own way, I love you, I do.
Rico, thank you so much for tapping. I really appreciate you hopping in over on the Purple app. I appreciate that a lot. We are closed for today. This is our last song that we're listening to, but I'm going to be live again tomorrow afternoon, Central Time. I'm Central Time. So tomorrow afternoon, not positive on the exact time, but tomorrow afternoon, I'll be live. I'll open up the line for probably like 10 songs, something like that. So definitely just make sure that you're following over there on the Purple app, or, you know, TikTok or Red app, either one. And I'll make sure we can get you in there. Yeah. Sounds good, dude. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for tapping in. Yeah, we do a long form consultation. So every artist that comes through here, producer, artist, musician, vocalist, whatever it is, we spend about 30 minutes helping them on their track. So we spend 20 to 30 minutes multiple times through the song to really get into those details, dive into the structure of your music, so on and so on. But yeah, man, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for tapping in. All right, let's get to the outro here real quick.
Words you used to keep me, stay with you. I need you, don't leave me, please stay true.
I think you could also, as you dig into get, you know, having a little bit more vocal control here as well, I think we can also polish some of your expression here with your pitch control as well. When you're going into these higher structures here, of course, yeah, anytime, Rico, appreciate you. When you're getting into these higher moments, the da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and you're hitting these higher notes in there, really focus on pitch control. Breath control and pitch control are going to go hand in hand. If you're running out of breath, you're going to reach a little bit more, typically, and you're going to shoot a little bit sharp. So make sure that when you're getting the da-da-da-da-da-da-da, try to really lock in that pitch and keep each of those moments really, really compartmentalized and locked in. Take a good breath before comp if you need to. That's a whole other subject I don't want to touch today. Comping is going to help you just isolate that vocal in that moment. But just make sure you have enough breath control to target that pitch and or tune afterwards if you feel like you want to. But starting where you're at right now, just make sure your breath control is in a good place. So you're not overshooting that note or squeezing because you're out of breath. So you end up overshooting it and going sharp. A couple little things there. Okay, last thing. And so these are the 4 things that I want you to focus on as a foundation. You said you were in school for production. That's amazing. I'm so glad that you were. That's amazing. So there's a lot of that you already know. I just want to challenge you to dig into them and perfect them as much as you have the capacity to, and lean into these things. Those 4 things are gain staging, positioning and panning, compression and EQ. Nothing else. I don't want you to worry about anything else. I don't want you to worry about mid-side. I don't want you to worry about parallel processing. I don't want you to worry about ping pong delays. I want you to worry about manual tuning with Melodyne. I want you to hyper focus for the next 3 months, whatever time, hyper focus on gain staging, how you're going in and out of every single plugin that you're using. Gain staging also starts at the microphone, right? Gain staging also starts, like your early analog starts with your microphone. The first test of amplitude, the first signal of amplitude is your mouth to the diaphragm of the microphone, right? So how close you are to the microphone, consistency in your proximity, or how you're moving around, all of that stuff. That all matters a lot, right? Positioning of the microphone, all that good stuff. So start with gain staging. Gain staging also includes, of course, just the level, your gain going into the DAW, right? How you're recording on the interface going into the DAW. From that point forward, when you go into a plugin and then out of that plugin, are you readjusting gain in order to make sure that your vocal's a consistent level all the way through your chain or as much as possible so you have good control? You don't compress it and boost it like crazy. You don't EQ the high end and make it super bright and then don't turn it back down. You're gain staging constantly through each of your plugins. So every time that you boost a couple frequencies to make it a little bit brighter and maybe a little bit punchier, that you turn down the output probably a little bit so it rebalances back to a sustained level, right? Gain staging. I want you to focus on gain staging and amplitude. Again, starts with your proximity, starts with the microphone, and then goes through each of your plugins. I want you to focus on positioning and your panning. So keeping your lead vocal in the middle, panning those outside vocals to the outside. Right now, they're all kind of stuck in a blob right in the middle of the mix. Get your background vocals, those doubles that you have, which are beautiful, great harmonies, great doubles. Get those panned to left and right, at least like 50%. You can go wider if you feel like you want to. Focus on panning and positioning. Then I want you to focus on compression and EQ. Compression, of course, is your dynamic control. That's what's going to keep your vocal from getting too quiet or too loud. That's what's going to help it feel punchy and forward in the mix. It's going to control all of that dynamic range. Your EQ, of course, is going to control a lot of the color, character, and tonal qualities of your vocal. So the brightness, the boominess, the boxiness in the middle of it, all of that stuff, of course, is going to happen through your EQ. Lock into those 4 things and get those things perfect. If your vocal's too bright, learn how to address that, right? Don't crank 10K too high. Just bring it back a little bit so you have some air, you have some openness, but it's not crazy sounding. On the low end, you don't want it to be boomy. So which frequencies do you address, right? I would start, if you want a starting point for EQ, I would high pass for your vocal, high pass at 90 hertz. If you want a high shelf, put it at like 9,000 hertz. And then bring it up about 2 dB. No more than that for now. High pass at 90 hertz, high shelf, up about 2 dB at about 9,000 hertz, 10,000 hertz. Nothing too crazy. If you have a little bit of boom in your vocal, that's going to sit between 100 and 300 hertz. If it feels boomy and muddy, lower it a little bit. If you go too far between 100 and 300 hertz, it'll sound thin. It'll sound tinny. You don't want that. If it sounds boxy between like 500 hertz and 800 hertz, that's where you're going to get a lot of that kind of mid and low mid right there. Excuse me, that's going to feel a little bit boxy and kind of nasty. You can control that there. And then a lot of like your mid resonance and the ringing that you'll hear in your vocal will happen between like 1,000 and 3,000 hertz. You can control that there. And then of course there's more. There's a lot more to all of this, but I really want you to focus on just locking in those 4 different things. Because there's no amount of reverb and auto-tune and delay that's going to fix a vocal that's moving too much on the microphone or that's, gain staged improperly, that's clipping on the preamp and stuff like that. Go all the way back to those first moments. Go back to those first moments of proximity control, microphone positioning, gain staging going in, positioning of your layers in your lead vocal, proper compression, so you get good dynamic control and EQ. If you can lock in those 4 things, you can get a magic mix with just those 4 things, nothing else. You can get like a really, really cool, dry, tight mix, just perfecting those 4 things. And then everything else is just sauce. Everything else is just icing on the cake. It's just set your vocal in space with reverb, give it a cool effect with an auto delay back and forth, throw some chorus on there for some fun, auto tune it if it's out of pitch. Like you can do all kinds of other fun stuff, but the foundation is going to be those 4 elements. The 5th one will be ambiance, right? Gain staging and amplitude control, right in there. Positioning and panning, compression, EQ, and ambiance. If you can lock in those elements, you can make magic. But we got to really, really focus on those foundational things. You'll be good to go. Sumi's in the building. What's up, Sumi? Y'all show some love, man. That is Queen Diva. Queen Diva, I love what you do. I really like your voice. I think your hook is golden. You're a good writer. Your hook is golden. We can work on rephrasing a couple things and polish some mix elements, but you're a really, really talented writer. And you do have an amazing voice. So I'm very excited, very, very excited for your future. Y'all show some love. Show some love. Sumi, I appreciate you. Alex said, I've always had a problem with layering basses for thickness, but then it sounds muddy. Yeah, you got to give them their own space. They can't all exist in the same place. You can't have like a sub bass, a synth bass, a re bass, a rolling bass, and a pad all in the same place. They have to be able to coexist. So decide where you want certain elements to fit, right? Why do you have those different basses in there? You might be able to get away with just saturating one. You could probably just get away with like one bass, saturate it a little bit, and it gives you all the weight that you want, right? Small EQ curves gives you all the weight that you want. If you have multiple basses, there has to be space for them, right? Typically, if I have multiple basses, I'm carving space, right? I might have one like Moog style synth bass that I have there because it has grit, it has texture, it has a high-end snap and punch and resonance that I really, really, especially because I work with a lot of analog stuff. Like it has a really, really nice punch and texture and character. I don't necessarily need the body from that. So maybe I'll filter that out a little bit. I'll control it. I'll make it a little bit less dynamic there. And then I'll put a sub bass that I carve all the way down. That sub bass lives at like 60 hertz and below, and that's it. Like 30 hertz to 60 hertz. And I just block it in right there. So it really just depends. But there's got to be space. Does every song need a sub bass? Definitely not. 100% not. I rarely use the sub bass, to be honest with you. Just if the song, these are all if it needs it, right? Kind of just EQ so the sub comes through. Yeah, I mean, you could pull tech it. Just throw a pull tech on there, stick it at 60 hertz and lift it really lightly. And then you can do a little bit of attenuation slightly higher. It makes it a little bit less muddy. You know, there's some things that you can do, but it depends on genre. It depends on the song. There's no need. There's no need. Like I don't put a lot of sub basses in there. Like I also I have a Juno 106 back there. And the Juno 106 back there has a sub oscillator, right? So on that sub oscillator, thank you for the follow, Alex. I appreciate it. On the sub oscillator, if I have like a really nice brassy synth on the Juno 106, and I just it needs a little bit more weight, I'll just slightly feed up that sub oscillator and it brings the whole thing to life, right? Not everything needs a sub. Some tracks just need sub harmonics, right? It just needs information below 100 hertz. And so that just comes from how do you want to do that, right? You want to have it just on a pick bass, like a Fender P bass? Do you want a sub bass? Do you want a sub oscillator? Do you want to lower the octave on the piano? Do you want to pull tech on the master? There's a lot of different ways that you could do that, right? It really just kind of depends on how and why you're doing what you're doing, what genre you're working in, and what best serves the song. That's gonna call it for today, y'all. I'm gonna be live again tomorrow, though. I'm going to be live again tomorrow. What's for lunch? Thanks for tapping in. I appreciate you being here. Of course, dude. Anytime, Alex. I appreciate you hopping in for a little bit. Right as I'm hopping off, but I do appreciate you being here. I'm going to be live again tomorrow. So for those of you who are wanting to get some music heard, you're wanting a full consultation, just like we just did for these last artists, definitely make sure that you tap and make sure that you're following. I appreciate the follow what's for lunch. Quick spiel before we hop off for those of you who don't know. My name is Torvik. I'm a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That is what I do for a living. I've done that for the last 14 plus years. I'm also a classically trained pianist. So that is the structure of the live, the perspective of the live, but that's also what I do for a job. So if you are ever interested in services, you need a producer, you need a mix and mastering engineer, you need a session musician, you need analog synths, you want live drums, you want vocals, you want acoustic, electric, or bass guitars. I do all of that for a living. So if you would like any of that stuff, just shoot me a message on any platform. I'll get back to you. We'll talk about the project, see if we're a good fit stylistically and creatively first and foremost. But then outside of that, we'll talk budget and timeline and things of that nature. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all so much. Hopefully y'all have an amazing rest of your evening and we'll see y'all very, very soon. Peace.